strike three. Deep to center field. This ball's crushed.
For the first time ever, the Astros now have a Hall of Fame inductee class. 2019, the inaugural class, Bob Aspromonte, Aspro the Astro, along with Jeff Bagwell. J.R. Richard on hand today, Craig Biggio as well. Nolan Ryan Express. Nolan Ryan, Joe Morgan. Hope to have both Nolan and Joe up in the booth at some point tonight. It was a great night tonight. 16 inductees into the Astros Hall of Fame. Big cheers for all. There's Jose Cruz, Shane Reynolds, Mike Scott, Craig Biggio. Right across the line, Jimmy Wynn as well, as we welcome you to a night of Astros baseball. Hi, everybody. Todd Callis alongside Geoff Blum. Well, we're getting ready for baseball here in 2019, but that was really a nice journey through the history of the Astros. What a celebration it was.
Yeah, we're enjoying the spoils of success right now, but the foundation was laid by those Hall of Famers that they inducted. There will be plenty more in the future, so hang on to some of those other Astros you enjoy, but tonight was special.
Yeah, in fact, when we talk about 2019 stars, we could almost have them channel their legends here that were inducted into the Hall of Fame. We're going to start with the comparisons with Jeff Bagwell.
Yeah, Yuli Gurriel, the current first baseman for the Houston Astros. He is a guy that is a high on-base percentage guy, but he's also a barrel guy, much like Jeff Bagwell was, and an RBI producer, and I mean that in the truest sense. He's a guy that would break it down and go the other way with some of those pitches.
How about Yordan Alvarez, who has the power of a Jimmy Wynn? Much bigger than Jimmy Wynn, but pound for pound, they could launch baseballs. Yordan named Rookie of the Month.
Then you've got the great Nolan Ryan, the strikeout king, tipping his cap to the locals. And now you have Garrett Cole, the Cole train, number 45 on the bump, winning July American League Pitcher of the Month. Back-to-back months for Garrett Cole. He is chasing something that Nolan Ryan never won, which is a Cy Young this year.
Cole and Alvarez winning in successive months as the Astros look to continue their great play. They have won 12 of their last 15. We will have more from Minute Maid Park as the Astros continue the golden age of baseball. 275 wins, the most in Major League Baseball in the last 3 years. Astros on AT&T Sportsnet is brought to you by Rooms to Go. Great styles and great prices during the summer sale going on now. And by Volkswagen and the 7-seater Atlas SUV. One of the Astros acquired at the trade deadline wearing number 18, Aaron Sanchez, will make his Houston debut tonight. More on Sanchez with Michelle Margot when we come back.
Made Park for the middle game of this 3-game set against the Seattle Mariners. There is a new face on the mound for the Houston Astros today. It is Aaron Sanchez. He's making his Houston Astros debut. He was acquired at the trade deadline, and he is excited to be here. He said that he was envious of this Astros team from far away, but now that he's here, he is on cloud 9. And we're talking about a guy who's just a few years removed from an incredible 2016 season with the Blue Jays. He went 15-2 with a 3 ERA, which was an American League best. But since then, he's had a couple injury-shortened seasons, and he is finally starting to get back to full health. In his last 2 starts in Toronto, 81.4% of his first pitches were strikes. He struck out 16 and allowed no walks. And what shows that he's heading in the right direction, he hasn't had an outing with 0 walks since July 2016 until those last 2 starts. And Astros manager A.J. Hinch said the Astros really want to tap into that good version of him because when Sanchez is good, he's, quote, electrifying. So for more on Houston's starter today, let's go up to TK and Blum. How you guys doing?
Doing really well, Michelle, and we are going to see Zach Greinke get his first Astros start Tuesday. We kind of know what to expect from Zach Greinke. Tonight, I'm very curious what we get out of Aaron Sanchez.
Yeah, I think we all are, because if we get that 2016 version that Michelle was talking about, we're all going to be very pleased. But the numbers you see on the screen right now aren't going to scream that he is all that good. He's had a rough season. Maybe it's the environment. Maybe it's coming back from some of those injuries and being a little more comfortable. But those last 2 starts are very promising, considering there were no walks in those last 2 starts. Because when he is on, you're right, TK, he has a chance to be a very solid number 5 in this rotation with that sinker curveball.
Making his first start in a uniform other than the Toronto Blue Jays, and he'll face the Seattle Mariners for the 7th time in his career. 3 as a starter, 3 as a reliever prior to tonight. Malik Smith will lead off in right field, followed by Kyle Seager. They're the only 2 in the lineup with at-bats against Sanchez. They are left-hand heavy at the top. Omar Narvaez and Daniel Vogelback hit 3 and 4. Domingo Santana, the DH. J.P. Crawford at shortstop. Austin Nola, Ryan Court, and Keon Broxton round out your Mariners lineup. So Aaron Sanchez in his first start with the Houston Astros. Last pitched on the 28th of July. Where's number 18? 92 career starts as a Blue Jay, and now his first delivery with Houston. Jim Wolf calls it a strike on the inside corner.
It's got to feel good for the 27-year-old out of Barstow. Get that first strike out of the way and start going to work.
And picks up a quick 2 strikes. Drops the curveball in.
Yeah, that fastball at the bottom portion of the zone on our MD Anderson strike zone. He hits the same spot with a different pitch.
Went back to the curveball. He gets a foul ball. It's 0-2. Sanchez looking for his first win since his final start in the month of April. At that point, he was 2-2.
That will be interesting to see that pitch throughout the rest of his start today, because that's something the Astros really try and do, is elevate that fastball to set up the down and in breaking ball.
Showing some good usage of the curveball early, getting Malik Smith to strike out. Smith had been 2 for 4 with 4 walks against Sanchez before this.
It's a great look at that over-the-top breaking ball, busting him down and in after that elevated fastball. It's a strong start for Aaron Sanchez. There you see the spin on our Mattress Firm Supermo, getting the swing over the top.
One thing Aaron Sanchez said was he was really looking forward to diving into everything that the Astros have to offer from an analytic standpoint. But having just joined the team a couple of days ago, he probably only got so much information to this point.
Yeah, I agree. And with the Astros making the trade on the road, not seeing these guys until you get back into Houston, Strami probably didn't have a chance to get his hands on these guys. But considering how he's been the last 2 starts, Strami probably backed off and said, hey, just keep doing what you're doing. We'll talk in between your next start.
Kyle Seager bats with a 1-1 count. Astros starting defense presented by Xfinity. Michael Brantley back in left field. George Springer in center. Josh Reddick in right. On the infield, it'll be Jose Altuve and Yuli Gurriel on the right side. Carlos Correa joining them in the shift against Kyle Seager on the right side for this batter, and Alex Bregman over at third. Martin Maldonado Gets his third consecutive start behind the plate. That curveball down and in almost caught Seager on that breaking ball. It's 2-2. Sanchez has always thrown the curveball frequently to left-hand hitters. This year he's increased the usage of the curveball to right-hand hitters as Seager fouls back the curveball. He's been going to the curveball a lot here in the first inning. That's something else we'll watch, is how the pitch breakdown goes tonight in his first Astros start.
Yep. Spin to win.
On the ground, Sanchez is going to cover as Yuli flips it to him. That's the second out.
The scouting report is presented by your Greater Houston Honda dealers. First 21 games, the pitch usage for Aaron Sanchez, and on the right-hand side, the last two, cutting back on that fastball and getting heavy on the changeup. And ironic enough, you just got Kyle Seager to roll over on that changeup, a pretty good pitch at 90 miles an hour, but a nice mix between the changeup and curveball after getting that fastball over.
The changeup to lefty is a higher percentage than he's ever thrown before. This year going to that pitch more often as Omar Narvaez hits. From afar, we've always watched this guy and kind of wondered why his numbers weren't better, because stuff-wise, and there was one year where he put it all together, stuff-wise he's as good as there is. I know injuries have been a big part of the issue. Nagging issues with his fingernail, contusions on that finger throughout the last couple of seasons have limited his effectiveness, but this could be a really interesting guy that the Astros acquired right before the deadline.
Yeah, knowing that you have that kind of potential, he's only 27 years old, so there is still promise in there. And I just like, as much as talented as a guy is, I think a change of scenery, grass isn't always greener. You can say all the cliches that you want, but I really believe taking a guy out of a situation, much like we saw with Chirinos coming from Texas into Houston, he all of a sudden stepped things up to compete with these guys. I would imagine you're going to see the same thing with Aaron Sanchez. Competing in this environment might enhance the stuff that he has.
He hits Omar Narvaez on a 2-1 pitch. Narvaez will be a base runner.
Curveball down and in. Narvaez got his feet stuck in cement.
Pitch bounced off of his shin. Now Sanchez will face Vogelback. There's a lot of new faces in this Mariners lineup since Sanchez faced Seattle the last time back in 2017. Overall, he has good numbers against this team. 6 appearances, 3 starts, a 1.31 ERA. As he delivers a strike. Mentioned the Mariners putting all lefties at the top of their lineup. First 4 hitters are lefties and 5 of the first 6. Sanchez actually has better numbers this year against lefties than righties. Strike called, and Martin Maldonado almost picked off the opposing catcher Narvaez at first.
Trying to catch his counterpart sleeping, throwing the machete down there at him, extending that secondary lead.
A little bit low, 2-2. In the air, left field, Michael Brantley is there, puts it away. Aaron Sanchez, a shutout first inning in an Astros uniform. Astros lineup that scored 10s in last night's game has George Springer back at the top, followed by Jose Altuve. What a run he's on. Michael Brantley in left field. Alex Bregman at third. Yordan Alvarez. Carlos Correa 5 and 6. Yuli Gurriel back in there in the 7th slot. Martin Maldonado hits 8th. And Josh Reddick also back in the lineup, batting 9th.
Marco Gonzalez is the left-hander on the mound for the Seattle Mariners. Comes at you with a fastball, cutter, curveball, changeup. Almost an even mix between most of those pitches, trying to keep hitters off balance. Last 9 starts, he is 7-2. That's a great win-loss record for him pitching in a Seattle uniform.
Gets a lot of decisions, 20 of them already of his 23 starts. So he will face George Springer and the Houston Astros for the 3rd time this season. Springer, one of the 3 Astros in the starting lineup last night that did not hit a home run. If you're going to say, all right, 6 Astros are hitting home runs in a game, pick 3 that won't hit a home run, you would never choose Springer and Bregman as 2 of those 3. Astros tying a franchise record with home runs from 6 different players. George didn't have a bad night, though.
Yeah, I would say he was doing it in other ways, wasn't he?
Yeah.
Had himself a good multi-hit game.
3 singles and a triple for George last night. Moved that average up to 298. And he starts tonight out with a 3-0 count against Marco Gonzalez, who didn't walk a batter in his last 2 starts and only walked 2 in 4 starts in July. There's a strike of the knees. Astros will face all lefties in this series. George is looking for his first career hit against Marco Gonzalez, 0 for 7. And he draws a walk. Well, Gonzalez had been so good in the month of July with the strike zone. He starts tonight off, first start of August, with a walk.
Facing a little bit different lineup. You got to be careful around these guys. Because like you were saying, TK, 6 guys hit home runs last night. You know, if you make a mistake, there's a chance it gets hammered.
Altuve hitting a 2-run home run. He was the only guy in the first 4 in that lineup with a home run. Altuve digging in.
Man, doing some landscaping, huh? Maybe that's why.
Big swing. He was ready to go. He needed that back foot wedged in.
It's a good pitch to let it go on. Altuve hit a laser into those Crawford boxes last night.
Now bunting the second pitch.
He's messing with people now.
He goes from a huge swing to a bunt attempt, and he's down to the count 0-2. 6-game hitting streak for Altuve. He's also reached in 12 straight. Comes in to this game batting .302. Try to hold up on the breaking ball and does. Altuve was starting to walk away.
He was going back to the dugout and he got a reprieve. Governor called at the last minute and said, no, you got one more.
I'm good.
Yep. Nothing to see here.
He kind of gave that look like, okay. Nick Marley, the first base umpire, maybe helping out Altuve a little. Scott Service is on the top step of the dugout. He's not pleased at all.
These championship teams, you can't give them extra outs, you can't give them extra swings, and he knows the potential for damage without that check swing being called.
Altuve is such a nice guy and so honest. If they would have asked him, he probably would have said, yeah, I swung. That's why I was heading to the dugout.
Yeah, it's a good thing we're not playing under golf rules where you got to call yourself out.
Right.
Because he'd have been like, no, you're wrong, I swung.
Yeah.
It's a good thing he didn't hit it. It would have been a double.
Service is still a little steam. You can understand why after watching the output last night, like you said. Giving Altuve an extra strike. And he makes them pay. Base hit into right center field. Going to third is Springer. Altuve heading to second. He will get there with a double. Second and third, nobody out. The Astros picking up where they left off last night.
Gets the benefit of the call on that check swing, lays off another pitch in the dirt, and eventually gets a pitch up in the zone that he can handle and stays on it. I love the fact that it was an off-speed pitch out over the plate, and Altuve let it travel. Instead of trying to hook that thing to left field, he stays on it, shoots it into that right center field gap, and challenges the outfield arms and makes it into second base.
That is now a 7-game hitting streak. 13 for 24 during that streak. Continues to push his average up now up to 304. He's catching this guy, Michael Brantley. Brantley's been the team leader all year. Now it's 316, third best in the AL. Who knew Altuve would be able to make this kind of push coming off the injured list? Brantley with a count of 1-1. Michael 3 for 6 in his career against Marco Gonzalez. And that ball in the left field, deep enough to score Springer. It's over the head of the left fielder court. Springer scores easily. To third goes Altuve. Michael Brantley with an RBI double. It's 1-0 Astros.
It's been a rough go of late for Michael Brantley, but a great start to this ball game with runners at second and third. Court out there in left field actually did a pretty good job of deking Altuve out there. I'm not sure if he did that on purpose or if he just got fooled by that ball. But with him faking like he was going to make that catch, kept Altuve close to second base and didn't allow him to score.
So the Astros with a walk and a couple of doubles on the board early tonight. Here's Alex Bregman. Bregman a slow grounder to short. Altuve will score on the ground out. Oh, Bregman picks up his 66th RBI of the year. It's 2-0.
Houston Methodist is going to bring you your league leaders. How about highest slugging percentage this season by ball club? Minnesota Twins racing to 200+ home runs first. Right behind them are the Astros, Red Sox, Yankees, and Dodgers. All championship quality teams heading down the stretch here in 2019.
Here's Yordan Alvarez. Back-to-back Rookie of the Month in the American League. Becomes the first Astro ever to earn that honor in back-to-back months as he takes a called strike. See his numbers on the bottom against lefties this year. He is slugging .795 against lefties with a 1204 OPS, including a bomb to left center field last night against the lefty Yusei Kikuchi. This ball ripped past Gonzalez into center field. Brantley being waved around. He's going to score. Astros lead 3-0 on the RBI single by Yordan Alvarez.
It's now 40 RBIs on the season for Yordan Alvarez.
Should we flip those first 3 letters in his name? Start calling him Roy, Don?
Oh my gosh, are you on to something or what? What's impressive about that too is he wants to hit the baseball about 500 feet every time he's up there, but kind of shortened up a little bit with that runner in scoring position and shot it back up the middle to get that RBI. And there you go, TK going for Rookie of the Year. Took down Rookie of the Month in July.
Yeah, when you win back-to-back Rookies of the Month, you're certainly one of the lead candidates. Even though he just joined the team June 9th, he's been here less than 2 months. It's now 40 runs batted in for Yordan Alvarez. And this is his 40th game.
And I just can't believe how he's taken everything he's done in AAA and just repeated the process here in the show. That's tough to do, and he's kind of ruining the expectation for all prospects who are going to come up after Yordan Alvarez, because now we all want them to produce like he is.
The bar is incredibly high. And to your point, last year, there was a lot of fanfare when Kyle Tucker got called up. And to show you it's not necessarily an easy transition, Tucker really struggled last year. Had a couple of opportunities, was sent back in between. And then Yordan came up, and I know Jeff Luna was saying, you know, we hope that he's ready. We hope that nothing happens like what we saw with Tucker last year, and he is more than ready. That guy is looking like he's thinking there's another level to get promoted to.
Yeah, I kind of hope he stays here for a while.
He's right now the franchise leader in everything for X number of games. Tonight happened to be the 40th. But he was the new record holder for most RBIs in his first 30 games in the major leagues. Now he's 40 and 40 as Correa lines out to center field for the second out, so even the outs are being hit hard.
Yeah, if Elon Musk is looking to start a ball club on Mars, he may start it with Yordan.
Now here's Yuli Gurriel getting a nice hand. Here's another one of the Player of the Month winners. He was the American League Player of the Month. Astros sweeping the awards: Rookie of the Month, Player of the Month, and Pitcher of the Month. That has not been done since the Minnesota Twins did it in June of 2016. Or 2006. 13 years ago. Even that ball's hit hard, but lined out to right field. Malik Smith making the play. Astros scoring 3. Now to take a look at our Chevy show, with tonight being the induction ceremony for the inaugural class of 2019. 16 inductees. We ask you, who is the likeliest to be inducted into the Astros Hall of Fame in 2020? A. Lance Berkman, B. Cesar Cedeno, C. Billy Wagner, D. Bob Watson. We could have had some others on that list. Roy Oswalt. We're only limited to 4 choices. There are a lot of candidates for next year's Hall of Fame.
Absolutely.
Send your vote to @AT&T Sportsnet SW. Here's Domingo Santana leading off against Aaron Sanchez in his second inning of work. Now has a 3-run lead as he delivers a strike to Santana. First inning for Sanchez, of his 20 pitches, 10 fastballs, 6 curveballs, and 4 changeups. Use that curveball to pick up a strikeout of Malik Smith. And he gets Domingo Santana to chase the same curveball. Now as a right-hand hitter, facing his first righty of the night. And he gets him on another breaking ball. Curveball looking good to both lefties and righties. 2 strikeouts for Aaron Sanchez.
All right, expected batting average against the pitches of Aaron Sanchez in 2016, and on the right-hand side, 2019. That takes into account the exit velocities, launch angles, various other factors. You see those numbers jumping a little bit as far as sinker, fastball, and changeup. And the curveball jumping a little bit, but still a highly effective pitch. And you know, being here with Houston, they're going to teach him maybe how to spin that curveball a little bit more and be more effective with it by throwing the elevated fastball, because in the past he has really been an arm side 2-seam sinker type guy, but now trying to get up in the zone to set up the breaking ball down.
J.P. Crawford with a 1-1 count. Strike at the top of the zone.
Looks pretty comfortable getting up in the top part of the zone. Just still rushing it. He was averaging 93.9 miles an hour on his fastball, then the changeup.
How about that sequence, Blummer?
I like it.
That's exactly what you talked about.
Well, that's what's great too, is having two solid secondary pitches to go behind the elevated fastball. So now you've got the hitter thinking, okay, he busted me up with the fastball. Okay, he must be coming off speed down, but what off speed? The curveball comes down and in, the changeup goes down and away.
Ooh, like that movement. That's pretty nice.
Yeah, this is a very good start for Aaron Sanchez. Something to really continue to build on. There's plenty of game left, but early on, he looks fantastic.
Here's Austin Nola. I mean, any pitcher or any player for that matter would love a fresh start, especially when you have a team that's kind of wallowing in the bottom of the standings in one division. You jump to a team that's now favored to win the World Series. But I think Sanchez was in particular excited about everything the Astros could offer to him. And so far, so good. 2 innings of work. He's only hit a batter as the only runner.
Get out and play, presented by Toyota. The Astros dominating the AL West this year, especially at home. They are 18-2 against the West. 44 home runs in those 20 games, 84 extra base hits, and a massive 923 OPS as a team. And AJ and the team have stressed beating the teams in their division for the past 2 years because owning the West has equaled division titles, and they are well on their way again this year. Obviously, the slugging continues today against Marco Gonzalez, but none of these current Astros have hit a home run off of him in their career, so hopefully they cross it off the list today, guys.
Yeah, that's kind of the curious thing about Gonzalez versus the Astros. He's given up a lot of runs, Blummer. That's now 20 innings pitched. And he's allowed 18 earned runs, now 19 earned runs during that stretch, but no home runs.
Yeah, it's kind of odd. Are you pleased with that if you're not giving up home runs, but you're giving up runs?
No. No, not. You know, he's 20 innings right now, 32 hits, and 19 earned runs. So keeping the ball in the park, it's nice to say, but it's not helping him out much.
Yeah, but it also speaks to how the Houston Astros can beat you in multiple ways, too. If they can go out there and throw the thunder at you and drive the ball all over the ballpark like we saw last night with 6 home runs, or they can take the walks, they can get the doubles, they can take the base hits, ground outs and score runs, and just peck away at you and still put up some big numbers.
Nobody has more at-bats or better numbers in this Astros lineup than Martin Maldonado. 6 for 13 with a walk. He and Alex Bregman have the best numbers against Marco Gonzalez. Maldonado didn't play for 9 days, the last 9 days of July when he was with the Cubs. He comes over to Houston, plays as soon as he's acquired. He arrived in the first inning of the first game he was in uniform, so he really couldn't start that one, but he started all the other 3. And takes a pitch upstairs. Gonzalez issues his second walk of the game, both times walking the leadoff batter. The Astros continue to play great baseball against Seattle, 10-1 on the year, and dominating the entire division at 36-12. 18-2 at home against teams in the AL West.
You're good, and then you put up numbers like that, and we run out of words to explain how good they actually are. It's incredible to dominate at home like they are this year, because in years past they've really had not struggles at home, but not to this extent have they been that good.
No, but I think you can say just by comparison struggles, because their record wasn't as good and their offense was about a run worse per game the last 2 years at home than it was on the road.
Yeah, a whole run.
I mean, it's still upper echelon.
Yeah, but again, and for me, it all goes back to how the offseason was handled by some of these competing clubs in the American League West. Obviously, the Astros going out there and getting better, using their prospects, signing Michael Brantley, making the trades, but really didn't see too much of that from the opposing teams in the West. Get down.
Seager can't make the play. That's a base hit for Josh Reddick. That ball looped into left field, and Reddick will take it.
I think Reddick was trying to go that way against the shift. Really letting that ball travel and fighting it off, because I believe this is in off the edge. And he just kind of spins off it and gets lucky just with a little duck snort out there, just out of the reach of the only guy on that side of the infield, and Kyle Seager.
What's the feeling like if you don't hit a ball the way you want to, you figure you're out, and then you look up, you're like, oh, I might be able to get a hit.
It's euphoric.
I mean, you could see his anger after that contact, and then he looked up and he was like, all right, this might work out for me.
Yep.
Springer with a big swing and a foul.
Yeah, there's no greater feeling. I mean, it's a roller coaster of emotions playing the game of baseball because you square one up. Hit it 150 miles an hour off the bat, and some dude lays out and makes a play on you, and you go from, man, I crushed that, to now I'm out. And then you do something like you just saw Josh Reddick do right there, where he just gets absolutely destroyed on the inside, pummels it at 61 miles an hour, and gets a knock.
61 exit?
Yeah.
George didn't mean to, but he gets a foul ball and a check swing. It's 0-2. Springer with that 4-hit game last night. It was his 11th 4-hit game of his career, which is 9th in Astros history. When he has 4 hits or more, he's had 6 a couple of times. Joe Morgan is 8th. Joe's got 12 of them. We'll have Joe in the booth in the bottom of the 3rd inning as Springer strikes out for the first out here in the 2nd. First strikeout for Marco Gonzalez. Here's Jose Altuve. Gonzalez thought he had his first strikeout of the game on Altuve his first time up, but a check swing called by Nick Marley prolonged the at-bat. And Altuve would double into right center field. Astros already with 4 hits in the game. Gonzalez has issued a couple of walks. 2 walks issued tonight by Marco Gonzalez matched the total for his month of July. With the 4th lowest walk percentage since July 1st coming into the game, but he's walked a couple of leadoff hitters tonight. And he misses inside to Altuve. It's 2-1. See on the fastball readings on our MD Anderson strike zone, he's not a guy that's really going to overpower you. Upper 80s with the fastball and mid 80s with the cutter. Altuve pops one up on the infield. Infield fly rule is called. Vogelback puts it away for the 2nd out.
Zach Greinke makes his Astros debut on Tuesday, and Garrett Cole takes the mound Wednesday in a 2-game series with the Colorado Rockies. Don't miss 2 all-star pitchers and the best offense in baseball as they close in on a 3rd straight AL West title. For tickets, visit astros.com/tickets or call 1-877-9-ASTROS.
Rockies have been struggling a little bit lately, and they're probably thinking, all right, we won't see Zach Greinke for a little while. Wrong.
Yeah, right.
Good to see him get out of the division. Oh, now we play the Astros. Yeah. Welcome back. And then Garrett Cole, just for good measure, guy they used to see with the Pirates a couple years ago.
Yeah, Greinke's going to go out there and test your patience and be on the edges with some of the off speed and the change, you know, the way he's able to change speeds on his fastball. And then you're just going to go out there and get rushed, bum rushed by some fastballs from Garrett Cole. So a unique 2-game series coming up for Colorado.
Astros with a day off going into and coming out of that series. As Marco Gonzalez with a 1-1 count on Michael Brantley. Brantley doubled in a run his first time up. This one towards 3rd, and with the runner heading to 3rd, they'll be able to step on the bag. Does Seager for the 4th out.
3-0 Astros after 2.
We welcome 3-0 Astros. Top of the third Astros Hall of Fame weekend. We've got brand new inductees, too, that we're chatting with today, including the Hall of Famer, Shane Reynolds, with me now, who led the starting rotation for the Astros for many, many years. You were a part of the Astrodome there. You were a part of the Minute Maid Park experience, so you got to see it all. You were such a big part of this history, too. What was it like for you today to be inducted into the Hall of Fame?
Well, thanks. We appreciate you saying that. Nice words. Like I said earlier, for me, it's just an honor to be announced or have my name announced in the same paragraph or in the same line as your Nolan Rhines and Jeff Bagwell's and Craig Biggio's and J.R. Rick. I mean, everybody. It's such a there's more history with the Astros than I think people really give credit for. So I'm very honored to be here today and to have. To be in the Hall of Fame, especially with the Astros, which is a team that I really wanted to play my whole career with. I almost didn't get to do that, but I wanted to. But it was kind of my first love and my first time to make it to the big league. So I really enjoyed it.
Yeah, one thing I want to ask you, Larry Dierker, your manager for many years, who told me, I wanted him on the mound for opening day because nothing really ever got to him. Can you tell me a little bit about your mentality as a pitcher and why you were so good at that?
I don't know. Dierker always had a lot of faith and he believed in me. He thought that I wouldn't go out there and worry about certain things that I wasn't supposed to worry about. He knew that I prepared myself well enough to where the only thing I thought about was who was batting next and how to get them out. So he had a lot of confidence in me, and I think that's why he let me go out there time and time again. We had some success. And he felt good, about me being out there for opening day. So thanks to him, I was able to be out there on a few occasions.
Well, I know you spent some time with this team in spring training, and we talk so much about this team and its starting pitching. Your thoughts, real quick, on what they've got going on right now?
Well, that's how you win. Now, don't get me wrong, you got to score runs and win games, but you got to keep the other team from scoring. And the teams that win these World Series, man, they have good pitching, and we have good pitching, and we have good. People teaching those pitching.
Are you talking about Strami?
I'm talking about Strami. And then when you go out and get a guy like we got Greinke, I mean, he's top of the line, done it for years, veteran guy. That's three outstanding, I think, number ones that we're going to have ready for the playoffs. So if we can keep our guys healthy on the field and have those young kids just keep doing what they're doing and then have these veteran pitchers do what they know to do, I think we have a really good chance to do what we've done before.
You're hearing it from a number one. Thank you again. Congratulations on everything. Enjoy the rest of the weekend.
Thank you. I appreciate it.
TK.
All right, Julie, great to hear from Shane Reynolds.
Can't believe she didn't ask him about some of his OCD issues.
What would you have asked him?
I would have asked him why could nobody spit a sunflower seed in front of where you were sitting on the bench. There was a 3-foot space where Shane would put all of his stuff on the bench, and there would be a lane in front of him that had literally nothing on it. No gum, no seeds, nothing. And if something fell in there or he came back from the inning and sat down again, he with his spikes, he'd clear out the way with his feet, just sweeping out. It would be immaculate in the dugout, just right in front of Shane Reynolds.
So between Biz and Shane, you had to remember some things.
Oh, yeah. And, I got traded over in 2002 from a scrap heap of a team in Montreal where we were just, crazy kids trying to play the game.
Right.
And you get over here and you got potential Hall of Famer Baggy, Biz doing his thing with the gum on the bat. And all of a sudden Shane Reynolds is like just removing every speck of anything in front of him. It was unbelievable.
Well, hope you enjoy Hall of Fame weekend as it continues with the second annual Alumni Home Run Derby. Before the game tomorrow, come see Luke Scott defend his title as he takes on Blummer and other Astro greats. 10,000 fans will receive a Hall of Fame jacket statue presented by Houston Methodist. To get your tickets, visit astros.com/HOF. Just got a scouting report on Luke Scott.
Yeah, he's ready to go again. Maybe if Luke Scott was facing Mike Scott, I'd have a chance.
Oops. Maybe ask Scotty to hang out and throw him.
Yeah, just throw nasty split fingers and try. Here, hit this out.
So you get Bracamani,
yes.
Scott gets Scott.
Figured it out. That's how we get it done.
Here's Malik Smith. That should be fun tomorrow, Blummer. I know you haven't had as much of an opportunity this year as you did last year to get any hacks in. So.
Yeah, I'm not going to tell you my secret. Hopefully it works.
Ambush?
Yeah, just ambush. I'm going to test that roll out of bed and hit home run theories, or hit home runs theory.
That jacket will stand out. You know if you're an Astros Hall of Famer when you wear that one. And they are all neatly aligned as there is Esch with Joe Morgan and others.
I just think it's great that the Astros made the decision to start to honor some of the history of this franchise, especially with what we're witnessing right now on the field.
I know, because you start to let your mind wander a little because you see all those guys from all the different eras and tremendous players, and then you think about this year's team and you're like,
Yeah, right.
20 to 25 years from now, we'll be seeing these guys all back as Hall of Famers. Jim Umbright, one of the 16 inductees. Now, moment is presented by Ross Blue Shield. Joe Morgan, 10 seasons with both the Colt 45s and the Houston Astros. 10-time All-Star. Everybody remembers his time with the Big Red Machine. A lot of people don't realize he spent more seasons with Houston teams than he did in Cincinnati.
Oh, man, Roberto kicked that one.
How about this? Joe came back a second time after leaving the Astros for 8 brilliant years with the Reds, and he helped contribute to that incredible NLCS between the Astros and the Philadelphia Phillies. A little triple that he hit over the head of Bake McBride in right field.
Great call. Good pull right there. I thought it was great to see Joe Morgan, Craig Biggio, Jose Altuve.
Ooh.
Solid 3 second basemen right there.
That is quite a pass the baton moment between second baseman and Astros history.
Pretty cool.
Here's Alex Bregman leading off the bottom half of the third inning. It'll be Bregman and Yordan Alvarez and Carlos Correa. Astros had 6 of the first 9 hitters reach base first time through the lineup, and then Marco Gonzalez got Springer, Altuve, and Brantley in succession to end the second inning. It's funny, I feel like we've seen that before in his starts against the Astros, where there's kind of ebbs and flows within the start, where the Astros are on him for a while and then he kind of settles in, and then they might be getting on him later on in the start.
Yeah, because initially after that first inning you figured he wasn't going to last very long, but making a couple of adjustments.
Mariners 1-10 against the Astros in 2019. Up until last night, most of the games have been pretty competitive. They were only a -10 in run differential before the 10-2 loss last night.
There we go. 2 Hall of Fame second basemen taking a picture with a potential Hall of Famer.
That's
That's
cool.
a strong legacy of second baseman in Houston Astros history right there.
That's going to be a cool picture to have right there. Alex pops one up. Foul, but playable. Narvaez and Vogelback, and Omar takes it for the first out of the inning. So Bregman retired. That'll bring up Yordan Alvarez. Yordan now 3 for 4 against Marco Gonzalez in his young career, including an RBI single his last time up. This time he gets in on his hands, and Alvarez hits a slow ground ball to the right side in the shift. That's the shortstop, J.P. Crawford, making the play. And there's 2 away. This week on Astros Bases Loaded, Blummer will break down how Yordan Alvarez, or Thordon, swings the hammer. Julia will take A.J. Hinch to the top of the Gateway Arch. All that and more on Astros Bases Loaded this week only on AT&T Sportsnet. All of a sudden, 5 retired in a row with some soft contact in that first inning. There was a lot of hard contact, including Carlos Correa.
Well, it looks like he's been going soft early, fastballs late, but also trying to get inside. Tie these hitters up. Don't let them get extended.
Correa laced the ball his first time, but he lined out to center field. Carlos has been hitting the ball hard since coming back from the injured list. Only 6 for 28 with that line out his first time up, but all 6 hits have been over 100-mile-an-hour exit velocity. Takes one on the inside corner, says Jim Wolf, who tends to give a little bit of a pitcher zone. 1-2 the count.
Yeah, Steve Sparks and I had a little bit of a disagreement about that. He felt that Jim Wolf was a little more of a pitcher or hitter's umpire. I was like, no way, man. This guy is all about the pitchers.
Well, his brother.
Yeah, I played with Randy Wolf here. Faced Randy Wolf a ton. Played with him here, San Diego.
So you would think he wants to help out his fellow brothers,
yeah,
pitching mates, just slightly. One of the really good guys of the umpiring brethren.
Yeah, he's got one of the more unique personalities, easy to talk to. Wasn't afraid to give it back to you a little bit too, which is kind of nice sometimes in the heat of the moment. Kind of sets you straight a little bit.
Two and two the count to Correa. Line drive, base hit. That's another hard hit baseball off the bat of Carlos Correa. He reaches with 2 outs.
Good job staying back on a breaking ball that caught a lot of the zone. This time finds some open space out there.
So the Astros now with 5 base hits. As Yuli Gurriel, who lined out to right his first time up. Yuli became the first Astro to win Player of the Month since Alex Bregman won in June of last season. He was so hot last month, we were calling him jalapeno. He sat on 12 home runs for a little while towards the end of the month. Picked up his 12th home run with Jeff Bagwell in the booth a couple of Saturdays ago. Baggy watching an inside the park home run break his franchise record for most home runs in July. Yuli ended up with 12 of them.
There's jalapeno. I think they misspelled July. It's supposed to be a July. Because it was Yuli's month. 398, 12 home runs, driving in 31 runs, 39 hits in 24 games. It's a healthy run by Yuli Gurriel.
And loud outs too when he made outs.
Truly.
Fouls one off his foot. I think AJ was looking for the right time too to give him a breather. That's why the hitting streak ended after an 18-game hitting streak, and then the next day he had it off. AJ's like, I really would like to rest him, but it's hard when he was putting up the numbers he was.
I played here. I talked about being traded to Houston in 2002, 2003. Jimmy Williams was the manager at the time, and there would be guys who would go on these stretches in the middle of July and August, and they'd have these 10, 12-game hitting streaks going, just enough to where you didn't want to sit them. And Jimmy Williams would have that conversation. He's like, I know that, they get off to that electric start, getting 2-3 hits in the first 4 or 5 games, and then towards the end of those hitting streaks, it's 1 for 4, 1 for 3. And you can tell the guys just grinding it out.
Yeah, not all hitting streaks are created equal. There's some hitting streaks where guys hit in the 300 or less range.
Yep.
Yuli was closer to the 400 or more range. As Marco Gonzalez sitting right around 20 pitches per inning, which is much higher than we saw from him in the month of July. He was at 15 pitches per inning last month, but the Astros doing a good job against him tonight. To short, J.P. Crawford bobbles but stays with it to Austin Nola for the fielder's choice. When we come back, we'll be joined by the Hall of Famer, Joe Morgan. 3-0, we head to the fourth. Joe Morgan, one of the inductees today in the inaugural Hall of Fame class for the Houston Astros in 2019. Most people that know Joe Morgan's career would be surprised to learn that Joe played more seasons in Houston than he did in Cincinnati. Joe, so great to see you.
My pleasure, Kid Callis. My pleasure. I got to say this real quick.
Yeah, go ahead.
I said it in the press conference today. People, like you said, people think about me with the big red machine and so forth. I tell people I learned to play baseball in Houston, in their minor league system, in their big league system. When I went to Cincinnati, I already knew how to play. I just went to a better team, Pete Rose, Johnny Bitch, Tony Perez, George Foster. I could go on and on. The things I did fit well with them, but I learned all those things that I learned about baseball in Houston because I had some of the great, great teachers. Nellie Fox was here when I first came. Bob Lillis, Joe Gaines, Walt Bond, Eddie Casco, Lee May. Those guys taught me how to play baseball, and I learned that all right here in Houston. Nellie Fox, when I grew up, I idolized Nellie Fox and Jackie Robinson. Jackie, for obvious reasons, he made it possible for me to play in the big leagues. And Nellie, because he was the kind of player I hoped to be. And when I got to Houston, my first year, and Nellie Fox was a player coach, I thought I died and gone to heaven.
Oh, wow.
I mean, I really did. And Nellie Fox taught me how to be a big leaguer on and off the field. And I'm still very close with his wife and family, Joanne. So I just wanted to get that out there. People, like you said, they're going to look at me as part of the big red machine, and that was great. But without me being here in Houston and learning the things I did, I would not have been part of the big red machine.
Ball in the left center field. Brantley going back on it will make the play. 2 quick outs here in the inning.
Yeah, they're trying to get me out of here quick.
Yeah, that's not good. We're not done with you yet. So
Yeah.
it means something to you to be wearing that orange jacket.
It means a lot to me because, it's kind of that old saying, you never forget your first girl. Well, I will never forget how important the Astros were to my career. The Colt 45s and Astros, I should say, because I was a Colt 45 first. But, look, I love being part of the big red machine. It's part of the greatest thing that ever happened to me in baseball, getting traded to the Reds. Hey, they have a statue of me out in front of the stadium. I've won 2 MVPs. I won 2 championships. All that is meaningful, obviously, but this is still home to me. This is where I first put on a big league uniform. And I tell people to this day, and I still get some tears in my eyes when I remember how I buttoned that last button and said, now I'm a big leaguer. I mean, and that was here in Houston. So
you just turned
I have
20,
a lot of
right?
fond memories. 19, actually.
You were 19?
Wow. Yeah, I turned 19. And, I think it was 19th, on my 19th birthday or something like that. And, as a kid, I was always too small. And the day I put that uniform on and buttoned that last button, I said, now I'm a big leaguer. And I just, and I still remember that. It seems like yesterday, obviously. Time flies, but, this place is always special to me.
Well, we're so happy to see you because we saw you in Cincinnati where you're still a special advisor for the Reds, and we weren't sure if you were going to be here for this ceremony, but you got to catch up with some people like a Jimmy Wynn you probably haven't seen in a while.
Jimmy Wynn, a whole bunch of people, J.R. Richards, Leon McFadden. There was a whole bunch of guys here today that I hadn't seen. Nolan Ryan, he was one of my all-time favorite teammates. I mean, every time I see Nolan, I get excited. I really do. It was great for me to be here. Cost me a lot of money to get here, but hey, I should say I gave up a lot to come here, but I'm glad I did, and I'll make it up some other way.
How good was Jimmy Wynn?
I tell you what, the toy cannon was as good as anybody. There have been 3 guys in my career that I watched: Cesar Cedeno, Jimmy Wynn, and Ken Griffey Jr. Those 3 guys had the most talent of anybody I've ever seen. There wasn't anything they couldn't do. They could steal a base, they could throw, they could do everything. And Jimmy Wynn, when the Astrodome was the Astrodome, he had 37 home runs. Are you kidding me? I remember that year he and Hank Aaron went into the last game of the season tied. and Jimmy didn't hit a home run. Hank did. And I remember Hank Aaron saying to me, as far as I'm concerned, Jimmy Wynn is the home run champion because he plays in that Astrodome and I play in the launching pad here, and But Jimmy Wynn is the only guy that could consistently hit the ball out of the ballpark in the Astrodome.
We saw a shot there at Crosley Field. We saw one where he hit it way over the batting cages in Pittsburgh.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, the batting cages were in play.
They were 430 feet. They put them on the field. The batting cage was on the field. It was so far out there. And he just flew it like it was nothing. I said, oh, man. And he used a big bat, 36-inch, 36 ounces. And that was Jimmy Wynn, the toy cannon, and he swung it from the end. I was amazed. I used this bat in the on-deck circle. Get
36 ounces?
36-inch, 36 ounces.
Pete, can we keep you for one half?
Yeah, of course.
Okay, all right.
Yeah,
Joe Morgan is going to join us for another half inning because we want to hear more from Joe.
All right.
The Shiner Spotlight fall on Joe Niekro and the Astros clinching their first NL West title in a one-game playoff at Dodger Stadium. Niekro was unbelievable down the stretch in 1980. Joe Morgan, after playing in Cincinnati, came back for the 1980 season, the NL West champions.
I tell you what, when I got traded, I didn't want to get traded, okay? I get traded. And I said, I hope someday I can come back here and help the Astros get to the World Series. And I came back, and I almost made it. We got very close, but couldn't make it. And part of the reason we got in trouble was because of what you just saw with Joe Niekro. If Niekro would have been able to start our first game in the division, we would have won that division. But he had to pitch that play-in game in L.A., and then he was lost for about 5 days.
He was unbelievable
Yes, he
down
was.
the stretch.
And he could hit, too.
Could he?
Oh, Joe could hit.
Both Niekro brothers could hit a little bit.
Yeah, but Joe could really hit.
Really?
I think Phil could make contact. Joe could hit.
How about, it was like the Russell brothers. They could both hit back.
Yeah, you're right.
Back in the day. Joe Morgan is joining us in the booth, one of the inductees in the Astros Hall of Fame class, as we reminisce about the Colt 45 and Astros days. You were in a picture down on the field before the game with you, Craig Biggio, and Jose Altuve that I need to get a copy of. Talk about the legacy of Astros second baseman. That was a special moment. Huh?
That's what they were doing, and it didn't hit me until they started talking about it. I've been a big Biggio fan because I got in trouble. I was broadcasting on ESPN, and Biggio was catching. And I said he needs to move to another position because, he wasn't physically, I just didn't think he could do it. And, people in Houston got mad at me. And then the next year they moved him to second base and he became a Hall of Famer. So I knew something about the game. But Altuve has been my favorite player for a long time. 2 years ago, I still say he was the best player in baseball. I mean, I know Mike Trout and all these other guys get their due, but Altuve is a player.
You see, I mean, I know you're lefty.
No, I don't see anything of me in him, if that's what you're going to ask me. Hey, man, this guy, he gets 200 hits. The most I ever got was probably 170 because I walked 120 times a year.
Okay.
I mean,
Altuve ain't going to do that.
No, he gets his 200 plus. But I tell you what, I admire who he is, because he gets the job done his way. I got mine done my way. Yeah, but no, he's a special player. And I told him today I was just so happy that he's healthy again so he can show the people who he really is,
We keep hearing stories about Cesar Cedeno. Is there anybody in today's game that you can compare Cesar to as far as his ability to play the game?
No.
Because he's almost mythological of how good he was.
And I tell you that it was Griffey, Wynn, and Cedeno, the three best young players I ever saw in my life. Cedeno, I don't know, like you say, what couldn't he do? I mean, he was just unbelievable. He didn't fulfill all of his promise. Jimmy Wynn didn't either, for that matter. Ken Griffey Jr. is the only one of the three that fulfilled the promise that I saw in them at 19 years old, and 18, whatever it was.
I've got to think in the next few years, Cesar may end up joining you guys wearing that orange jacket.
Oh, I don't think there's any doubt about that. He was a great Astro player, and I think he deserves that. I thought what they did today, they brought Bob Aspromonte back and myself from the original Colt 45s and whatever, and then they filled it in between. Some of the guys who were great along the way, and I think it will continue that way.
Joe, we were going through the numbers earlier today, and I always think of you as second base. You actually played a little outfield.
Well, one of my great things, I went to Willie Mays. I said, I'm going to play the outfield, and he gave me a glove.
Really?
Yeah, but hell, man, I don't know where it is.
Oh,
you know what? I gave it to another kid. who was getting ready to play left field. I said, here, take this. I mean, I look back, I said, I gave away Willie Mays' glove. You know, are you kidding me? Yeah. But yes, I played left field a little while because we had Julio Gotay was the second baseman. He could hit a little bit. We were having trouble scoring runs, and he couldn't play any place but second base, so they asked me to play the outfield. And that didn't last long, thank goodness.
How thankful were you when you guys built the Astrodome and you were able to play indoors in the city of Houston in summer?
Well, unbelievable, because I came up at the end of the season. They built the Astrodome and started in '65. I came up at the end of '63 and into '64. You know how they call you up at the end of the season.
Yep.
And man, I'm saying I got to play in this all the time, and it was awful. And that was even though they played all the night games.
Yep.
And anytime you're in the daytime walking around, you said, I can't play in this. But no, I was really thankful.
So all those years you were up in the booth, it's just like old hat for you to be on this headset.
Yeah.
We haven't even talked about the current state of the game. What do you think right now? I mean, with the Astros doing what they did at the trade deadline?
Well, you know, I have two things to say about the game today. I think it is definitely a big difference. It's changed a lot. Now it's hit or miss. You know, everybody's hitting home runs. The ball flies out. The ball is livelier. All those things have changed the way the game is played. I love the old game. I'm not going to lie. You can say I'm old school or whatever. I'm not against analytics and all that stuff. I just think that there's a place for both. I believe in the eye test. You don't need numbers to tell me that Altuve is a great player. I see it. You know what I mean? So I love the game. Baseball's a great game. I just wish there was a little bit more action rather than strikeouts and home runs. You know, everybody likes home runs. You know, it's like a video game almost. I turn the TV on. All you got to do is turn the sports on at night, and you see 100 home runs. And I say, well, what is that doing to the pitching and pitchers? You know, it's a whole different game now. So you asked me a question. I still watch the game. It's part of my job with the Reds. But I love watching baseball the way it was played before. Where guys moving them along, where guys like Altuve are very important. You know, now you lead off with a double and they don't even want the guy to get him over. So it changes the game.
Springer goes down swinging, and that'll do it in the fourth inning, Joe. So great to have you.
My pleasure, man. I'm sorry I talk too much, but that's who I am.
It's great talking with you. That's why we have you up here.
The legend, Joe Morgan, joining us in the broadcast booth. Astros still lead.
Our Best in Texas Power presented by your local Ford dealers. Nolan Ryan, 5,714 strikeouts, most all-time in baseball. 7 no-hitters will never be reached. Most guys won't get that many complete games in their career, let alone go out there and get no-hitters. But a phenomenal career, and we've got our own Kevin Eschenfelder with the Express.
All right, Blummer, thank you very much. Yeah, how about this? You go from Joe Morgan on one side of the break to the great Nolan Ryan on the other side of the break. Brad Mills, by the way, still mad about the curveball that you threw.
Well, you know, I felt bad for Brad. Somebody had to be the guy, but it just happened to be him.
Hey, just give me an idea what this weekend has meant to you, because we're in a suite here with must be 50, 75 of your former teammates and guys that you got a chance to see play.
Well, you don't see them that often, so it's always fun to come to these things and get an opportunity to catch up with people and what's going on in their lives. But the thing that I kind of really relate to here is I grew up in Alvin and saw the Colt 45s come in and saw that group of players, and so to get to be around them, that's somebody you looked up to when you were a kid, so that's been neat.
I know Joe Morgan talked about that, Cesar Cedeno, and guys like that, Jimmy Wynn, and guys, Don Wilson, whose family is here, guys that you got a chance to see. You were just getting into pro ball when those guys were making their mark, but you got a chance to see those guys as well. I think what's really neat about this is that it kind of spans that, it kind of bridges that gap of people that really had heard about those guys but didn't get a chance to see them play.
Well, I not only got to see them as they started their careers, but I got an opportunity to pitch against them or see them throw, and so it made it special. And so when you come to this, you have a different perspective than you do just from guys that were your teammates.
Give me an idea of what you've seen this club do, and you see that what they did at the trade deadline, and this is a pretty special club that they put together.
Well, it really is, and I've felt that way about them for the last couple of years, and I think they're a better ball club today than they were in 17, and I think with the experience that they've gotten and the veteran presence they have now, I think they're really in a good position.
Nolan, thank you so very much. We appreciate your time.
Well, thank you.
All right, Nolan Ryan, guys, on the broadcast. Let's go back to TK and Blummer, fellas.
All right, Ash, nice job with Nolan. Great job on the pregame show with Julie as well. That was well done tonight. So many memories, so many stories. Those suites are filling up with stories tonight. This ball in the center field. George Springer eases to his left, puts it away for out number 2.
Yeah, more fun with numbers. My gosh, 7 no-hitters, 12 one-hitters, strikeouts, first in Major League Baseball. The opponent batting average, 204 against Nolan Ryan. That explains some of the no-hitters. And the hits allowed per 9 innings at 6.5. That's first all-time. Pitched in 5,386 innings. Amazingly, that's 5th place. Just incredible numbers over an incredible career for Nolan Ryan.
Nice to be first in all those categories.
Yeah, pretty unique how he went out there and did some of that, because you're going to hear some people, he didn't win a Cy Young, he didn't do this, he's overrated. How do you say that when you see numbers like that? The strikeout numbers are off the charts, and nobody will ever even get within 2,000-3,000 of those, I feel like. And then you have the 204 batting average. I didn't know about that till today, and that really explains a lot of how hard it was to get a hit off Nolan Ryan.
Yeah, he was unbelievable. A lot of walks, but very few hits allowed. Nolan Ryan is early in his career out of the bullpen for the Mets, ended up making it to the World Series in 1969 and then never got back there. Little tapper. Yuli's going to make the play to Sanchez covering. Aaron Sanchez through 5 innings has been outstanding. The Astros lead 3-0.
Astros on top 3. It's not only Hall of Fame weekend, it is alumni weekend. And one of my all-time favorite, not just Astros, but human beings, is Art Howe. Artie, hey man, how cool has this been? I know just talking to Nolan just a minute ago, and I think all you guys are having a lot of fun.
It is. I mean, great to see old faces again and old teammates talking about great times, and we're all a lot better right now than we were back then.
Some of the guys that were honored, and one of them is, I always love to hear your stories about Joe Niekro, and especially the 1980 and the way he just kind of put you guys on his back down the stretch.
He was awesome. Nuxie had the best knuckleball going. He threw it harder than anybody else, and just a tremendous teammate. Could swing the bat a little bit. He took his brother deep once and never let Phil hear the end of it, but just a great teammate, and we miss him dearly.
What was the story about the one-game playoff and when he told you guys on the bus? About you guys get me the...
Yeah, he said, just give me a couple, baby. I got it from here, and he went out there and pitched a gem. He got a little bit of jam there in about the 5th or 6th inning. Crowd was getting into it, spun up a double play ball, and that was all she wrote. They got one out of it.
Yeah, 144 career wins. Another guy that we just talked to just a second ago, of course, was Nolan, and that the no-hitter in 1981, ground ball to Art Howe at third base. What are your memories of that?
That was the only ground ball I got in the whole game, man. I was on pins and needles down there at third base, and with Dusty up at the plate, there's a good chance it might come your way, and sure enough it did, but luckily, I fielded it cleanly and got the out. I'd have never heard the end of it from Noli.
What have I always told everybody? I've always told you, when I grow up, I want to be Art Howe.
Oh, jeez.
Right.
You're not going that bad.
TK Blummer, back to you guys.
Always great to see Art, and you too, Ash, but always great to see Artie Howe.
Yeah, we love Art Howe. He's got some great stories, good insight in the game, too.
Kevin Eschenfelder, Nolan Ryan and Art Howe the last couple half innings. We are in the bottom of the 5th inning. Astros lead at 3-0. Astros have 5 hits against Marco Gonzalez, but he's kind of settled in a little bit as he has retired 9 of the last 10 batters he has faced. Tuve was part of that 3-run first inning when he doubled into right center field. He's also popped up. ball hit in the right field, sending Malik Smith back. He looks up. This is gone! Jose Altuve goes the other way for home run number 18. And the Astros now lead 4-0.
Finally, an Astro gets to Marco Gonzalez, and it's Jose Altuve going oppo taco.
That ball did not want to come down.
Yeah, that was a low stinger, almost 100 miles an hour, low launch angle at 21 degrees, and shoots it out to right. It is good to see Jose Altuve going the other way with some of these pitches. Got that double in his first AB going to right center field.
Great to see that Altuve smile beaming again. He is on a run right now, and he can't stop smiling. Even for Jose, a 14 for 26 stretch is pretty solid. He's had those runs before, but he's in one of those zones right now. Michael Brantley better look out. His team lead for the best batting average is down to 11 points now, even with a 1-for-2 night. Brantley's going to say, hey, wait a second. Oh, no, coming on is the left fielder Ryan Cord, who puts it away for the first out.
Back to that swing from Jose Altuve. They're setting up out there, trying to cut. Looked like they were trying to throw that slider and get it back on the plate, but Altuve stayed right there. How about the top hand, rolling that ball out to right field, showing some arm strength. Yep, that is pure joy. I love that.
Great moment.
How about after we have Joe Morgan in the booth, Altuve goes to the opposite field for that home run.
And remember, it wasn't that long ago we were showing the spray charts.
Oh, man.
And he was heavy pull side.
Yep.
So good to see him send one out to right field.
I agree.
Alex Bregman, the batter. Alex hits one hard down the line, fair ball. J.P. Crawford, the shortstop, goes out to get it and does a nice job holding Bregman to a single on that ball off the wall. Michelle.
Thanks, TK. Community Bank of Texas brings you Jordan's prodigious pop. 13 home runs this year, averaging 411 feet on those 13 bombs. He also has the longest home run for the Astros this year and the 10th longest in Major League Baseball. That July 19th moonshot off of Mike Minor that went 474 feet. And he just continues to impress, guys.
He does. Another RBI single his first time up. He has 40 runs batted in his first 40 games. You combine his minor league and his major league numbers, he has 111 RBIs on the season.
My gosh.
And remember, the minor league starts later than the major league season. Still got 50 games to go after tonight, and 111 combined runs batted in, and 36 home runs combined. This is not hyperbole, but he could end up combining between the two seasons, minor league and major league. He could end up at 50 and 150. That's how crazy his numbers are right now. He's at 36 and 111 right now.
I don't know if you're trying to get me excited about next season or the next 50 games.
Trying to get the voters excited about the possibility of a Rookie of the Year campaign, despite not starting with the Astros till June 9th. Down to the count 1-2. Gonzalez got in on him last time, and Jordan rolled a grounder to the right side. This one upstairs, 2-2. Nolan said it with Kevin Eschenfelder a moment ago. He feels like this 2019 team is better than the world champion 2017 team. Really hard to argue with them based on the current construction of the roster. And this guy a part of it.
Yeah.
I mean, the DH spot was
Oh.
Fine. Carlos Beltran, Evan Gattis, they did their job in that DH role, but not dominant like we've seen out of Jordan.
Yeah, it's almost not fair to compare anybody or any DH to what Jordan's done in this brief amount of time that we have seen him here.
That ball's ripped into center field for a hit. Bregman on the move. Smith going to cut it off. He will keep Alex Bregman from scoring. Jordan Alvarez a 2-for-3 night with a single, putting runners on first and third.
Big swing from a big man. Astros getting things going here after this inning started with an Altuve home run. You could see him rise up to get that pitch up in the zone. Barrel it up, shoot it into right center. 103.1 off the barrel. Another high exit velo for Jordan Alvarez. My bad, Roydon.
We may have to start calling him that every once in a while. His OPS now, since June 9th, is better than anybody else in the game since he's been called up.
Wow.
Here's Carlos Correa. Mariners get their bullpen going for the first time tonight. Matt Whistler, with Marco Gonzalez sitting at 92 pitches, begins to loosen up. Marco averaged 7 innings a start in the month of July, facing the A's twice and then the Rangers and the Tigers. But tonight, he is at 93 pitches in the 5th inning and very unlikely to get through the 6th, let alone the 7th. 2-0 the count to Correa. Might have to struggle to get through the 5th depending on how the rest of the inning goes. There's a strike called on Carlos. It's 2-1. Carlos is lined to center and singled into left field. We were talking both before the game yesterday and on the air in the first few innings of our broadcast last night about the current state of the offense, how good the lineup looks 1 through 9, and the fact that they were taking on 3 pitching staffs with the worst 3 ERAs in baseball in succession. Mariners, Rockies, and Orioles. As Correa pops one high in the air, does Narvaez see it? It appears so, but now a late start, and he still gets there in time to record the out on Correa for the 2nd out. Bottom of the 5th inning is presented by Wells Fargo. Astros leading 4-0, trying to tack on to their lead, but this is a scenario here with this offense and the pitching staffs they are facing where you saw the slugging percentage numbers earlier. Those numbers could actually go up.
Yeah, it's kind of frightening what could happen. And you know, hitting is contagious. These guys are excited. Every at bat I've seen in the last 2 days has been highly comfortable against these pitching staffs. So these guys know that they're going to have some opportunities to get mistakes up out over the plate to be able to do damage and light up that baseball card.
Yuli sends one down the line in right, long run, and Nola makes an incredible attempt and can't get there. Austin Nola flat out dive head first. Couldn't have done anything else, but just came up short.
Yeah, it was a little bit of desperation towards the end. Legs start to give out a little bit. He almost got steamrolled.
Yeah, don't get run over by Vogelback.
Yeah.
Oh, Julie gets to try on J.R. Richards' jacket.
This should be funny.
6'8".
Yep.
That is a nice dress, Julia.
Yes, it is.
We love what we do up here, but do you get the sense that we're not quite having as much fun as Julia and Esh tonight?
Yes. No, Julia's having a blast, meeting all these guys and having the opportunity to talk to them. But I guarantee you, Eschenfelder might be having almost more fun.
Because he lived it.
He lived it. He's our resident Astro historian. So, he gets to be a part of it and be around those guys. I'm sure he is just, kid in a candy store type atmosphere for him. He's probably asking more questions off air than on air.
Maybe Esh will try on JR's jacket. 2-1 to count to Yuli. Yuli fouls one the other way. Well, even the at-bats in Cleveland, I know they lost the first game of that series, came back to win the next two. Even the at-bats in Cleveland were really good at-bats. They scored runs, but they had runners on seemed like every inning.
Yeah, we talked about that a little bit with the RISP situation. When runners are in scoring position, they are feast or famine. Those losses, they don't drive the runs in with those when they have those runners on, because it really feels like they get the same amount of runners on. It's just a matter of how many get left on base in the wins and losses.
They actually lost the middle game of that series, not the first game. But Shane Bieber, for example, one of the best young arms we see. He went 7 innings of 2-run baseball, pitched very well, but the Astros put up 9 hits against him and really battled. And tonight they're against a guy who's given up some hits and runs against them in the past. They're battling, and he's over 100 pitches in the 5th inning, and he's been cruising through some games in the month of July, and Yuli keeps fouling pitches off with 2 strikes.
Yeah, I'm not quite sure how he fouled that pitch off, but he's staying alive. Thought that was going to hit him in the kneecap. They're trying to get in there. It was aimed right at that front knee, and he just evacuated the lower half and still swung.
I don't think Wolfie, as much as he does call strikes for pitchers, would have called that one.
Yeah, that might be a little outside his zone.
2-2 the count. On third base is Alex Bregman. On first base, Yordan Alvarez. They both had base hits. Yuli 0 for 2 tonight. Got the day off last night, coming off that Player of the Month award in July. Yuli was 3 for 5 with a couple of doubles against Marco Gonzalez before this evening. Ground ball towards the hole. Crawford. Low throw, picked nicely by Daniel Vogelback at first. The Astros add to their lead on a Jose Altuve home run. Julia.
Back, Aaron Sanchez's job tonight, mixing up pitches. We're seeing a lot more of the fastballs up, but he also has velocity, 93, 94 miles an hour, trying to beat J.P. Crawford up, eventually getting to that changeup, and that pitch up is what opens it up for him. And again, trying to beat him inside, a little bit of a cut with the fastball up, and then fastball down, the 2-seamer that he does have, elevated again. Guess what? Change up down for that second strikeout of J.P. Crawford. Some masterful work and execution by Aaron Sanchez.
That was what you were talking about at the beginning of the game. He's changing eye levels. He's pitching up in the zone and then going down and away.
And I know that he used that changeup quite a bit, but I wasn't thoroughly convinced that it was as good as we're seeing tonight.
It's been outstanding. Keon Broxton leads things off against Sanchez. Broxton flied out to center field his first time up, and it was one of the few baseballs that have been struck well tonight by the Seattle Mariners. They have not had much hard contact against Aaron Sanchez. There's that fly ball by Broxton at 100.3 and an Austin Nola ground out back in the second inning to Jose Altuve. That was at 100.6, and that's it in terms of triple digits. Only one other ball that is quote-unquote hard hit at 95.1 mile an hour by Malik Smith when he flied out to end the third. So Aaron Sanchez in his Astros debut has hit a batter. He's walked a batter. He has struck out 5. As he's 2-2 here on Keon Broxton. is a guy working into the 6th inning here, which he did in his last start, but has only worked into the 6th inning twice in his last 9 starts, going 5 1/3 on June 24th against the Yankees, and then the last start going 5 2/3 against Tampa Bay in Toronto on the 28th. But his pitch count's in great order, coming in at 69 pitches. He's thrown 5 this inning.
Spending his entire career with the Toronto Blue Jays before coming here to the Houston Astros. How about how well he's working with Martin Maldonado also?
Oh, pretty breaking ball for a called 3rd strike. Sanchez picks up his 6th strikeout, 1 away in the inning.
Having 2 high-quality secondary pitches to go behind that fastball is what's helping out Aaron Sanchez in this ball game. That curveball will go to that glove side of the plate. And then he has that changeup that we saw him throwing to J.P. Crawford to the arm side of the plate. So that's a lot of plate to cover, a lot of spin to cover, change of speed to cover.
When you think about a guy getting locked up, sometimes those pitches that lock them up end up on the inside corner. That one locked up Broxton and ended up breaking all the way to the outside part of the plate.
Maybe had him thinking about that fastball.
Oh, that's pretty.
Yeah. Backdoor breaking ball literally dotted on the down and away corner.
Threw a lot of curveballs early in this game and then started to throw the curveball more last inning. Went to more of the changeup as his primary secondary pitch. If that makes any sense. In the middle 3 innings, 2nd, 3rd, and 4th.
It's baseball. It makes perfect sense.
Now he's 1 2 on Malik Smith, who has struck out and flied out to center. Last inning only needed 11 pitches. The 4th inning only needed 12 pitches. He's been between 11 and 15 pitches his last 4 innings after a 20-pitch first. Couple interested observers there, Justin Verlander and Wade Miley. Difference between the fastball and the changeup is about 5 miles an hour with Sanchez. Fastball averaging 92, 93. The changeup comes in around 87, sometimes 88. Full count.
See a late swing on 91, and I was just thinking about in a 3-2 count, he's had such good command of all 3 pitches, the fastball, curveball, and changeup. As a hitter, you can't sit on just the fastball, and that might be why Malik Smith was late on that 91-mile-an-hour fastball in the 3-2 count.
Little up and away, ball 4. Third base runner of the night for the Mariners. Smith a 1-out runner at first. Join us at the Golf Club of Houston October 7th through the 13th for the Houston Open. Ticket options include daily general admission tickets, week-long tickets, and premium ticket packages. Proceeds from this year's tournament benefit the Astros Foundation. To purchase ticket packages, visit HoustonOpenGolf.com. Here's Kyle Seager. Seager is grounded out and flied out to left. First bullpen action of the night going for the Astros as Sanchez is approaching 90 pitches. He's at 85 right now, and Will Harris begins to loosen up. There goes the runner. Pitches outside. The throw bounces in there. Malik Smith has his 30th steal of the year. Smith second in the American League with those 30 steals.
See, a lot of the focus was on the hitter for Aaron Sanchez. It was a good jump by Malik Smith. Gets into second base easy.
Only Adalberto Mondesi with 31 has more steals in the AL than Malik's.
Now with Joe Morgan talking about old school, the stolen base has kind of gone by the wayside in this modern version of power baseball.
Yeah, the game is constantly going to evolve, and right now it's a power game. It's power pitching, it's power hitting. A lot of strikeouts, a lot of home runs. Slow tapper right side. Altuve will come in on it. Makes the play to get Seager. Smith advances to third with 2 outs.
Yeah, you feel like with as many home runs that are being hit, you don't want, or managers maybe not encouraging guys to try and steal bases to get into scoring position, because if you get thrown out, there goes your 2 or 3 run home run.
Yeah, and a lot of the numbers that have come out suggest that a stolen base is not necessarily as advantageous. If you are stealing bases even at a 75% success rate, that doesn't necessarily help your team out that much. Smith is much better than that, 30 out of 36, but still, that is something you saw a lot more of in Joe Morgan's day.
Geico the shift. Astros at 50.1%, most in Major League Baseball.
Great to have Joe Morgan in the booth, and you could tell how much he respects and enjoys watching Jose Altuve play. He gushed about him. And even though he said he doesn't remind him of him because of the walks versus the hits, they still had a lot of speed game, second baseman, power for a little guy.
I mean, that's a commonality too, the stature. With all 3 of those guys playing above what their stature said they were capable of.
Two and 1 the count to Narvaez, who bats in the 3 spot tonight for Seattle. Just the 4th time this year he's been the 3rd hitter for Scott Service. There's a strike, 2-2. Sanchez, his last 4 starts, has not thrown 100 pitches or more. His high total on the year is 104. This will be his 92nd pitch of the night. Ground ball right side. Altuve's there. Aaron Sanchez threw 6 innings. 92 pitches in the book, and the Astros lead 4-0.
Enjoy summer at the ball next week as the Astros and Rockies face off. On Tuesday, all fans receive Tops at baseball cards. Plus, you can enjoy $1 hot dogs presented by Nolan Ryan Beef. And don't forget to add on a Zach Greinke t-shirt as you enjoy his debut for T-Shirt Tuesday. That's presented by DraftKings. For tickets, visit astros.com/promotions. Pretty cool, Greinke t-shirt.
Yeah, that'll be a great promotion. Zach Greinke's first Astros start. Fans getting to wear the Greinke jersey as Justin Verlander and Aaron Sanchez have a little discussion. Don't worry, that's his left hand he's looking at. It's not his pitching hand.
Yeah, he's had issues with blisters and a ligament issue in that middle finger.
Well, based on the high fives and the handshakes, it looks like his night might be over in 92 pitches.
It's rather interesting.
Has only allowed 3 base runners tonight, a couple of walks and a hit batter. As we head to the bottom half of the 6th inning. And the new pitcher for the Seattle Mariners is Matt Whistler.
Whistler's got 3 pitches, averaging close to 93 miles an hour on his fastball. Has a curveball and a slider. Got a baseball loose on the, or maybe something else loose out there in left field as you see the numbers on Matt Whistler. 35 1/3 innings pitched. Another inflated ERA.
He'll face 8, 9, and 1. Martin Maldonado, Josh Reddick, and George Springer here in the bottom half of the 6th inning. Astros scored 4 against Marco Gonzalez in 5 innings. We mentioned how it seems like there's ebbs and flows when Marco starts against the Astros. That was the case tonight. He allowed 6 of the first 9 to reach base and then recorded 9 outs in the next 10 batters before the Astros had 3 more hits against him in the 5th inning and ended the night. Gonzalez giving up 4 runs in 5 innings on 8 hits. Maldonado has walked and popped up tonight. Astros are hoping that Robinson Chirinos comes in tomorrow and feels healthy enough with that left shoulder, the non-throwing shoulder, to play in tomorrow's game. He has caught every one of Justin Verlander's starts this year. But if not, it could be a 4th consecutive game for Martin Maldonado in a day game after a night game. There is another guy on the active roster who catches Garrett Stubbs, but with a guy like JV, I think AJ would rather go with Martin, who caught him last year. Two and 2 the count. Do you have the timing down for tomorrow? Like what time should fans get here if they want to watch the Derby? At least a half hour, an hour before the game?
Yeah, the Home Run Derby will start at high noon.
Okay. Hey, Martin with a base hit. He's been on base a couple of times tonight.
Now it's time for T-Mobile's connection to the game. Last night, ex-Astro Vince Velasquez had an outfield assist and a 5-star catch. Can also throw left-handed and hit a golf ball 300+ yards. Ryu is placed on the injured list with a bad neck, and Steven Strasburg 4-0 record, 1.48 ERA since the break. And the Colorado Rockies in a tailspin since July 1st. 7 wins, 19 losses.
Vince Velasquez was unbelievable last night. He almost threw out another runner. The winning run scored on another throw that just missed gunning the runner down at home plate.
He's a unique athletic talent.
By the way, that 5-star catch by Velasquez, the first Phillies outfielder with a 5-star catch this year.
Come on. Wow.
So the rest of their outfielders playing 9 innings all day, every day. And Velasquez's first inning in the outfield, and he picks up, he did play a few innings, he played in extra innings, but his first game in the outfield picks up the first Phillies 5-star catch. That was unbelievable. They were using a position player to pitch, and Velasquez was making unbelievable plays in the outfield. Which is another reason you can't have that rule about position players only able to pitch when the lead's a certain number. You have to deal with your roster the way you want to deal with it, as Reddick foul tips one and strikes out. And there's one away here in the 6th inning. I'll bring up George Springer. Springer has walked and struck out a couple of times. He's happy to see someone other than Marco Gonzalez. He has not had any success against Marco in his career. George scored the first run for the Astros. Will Harris back up and throwing for the Astros. He'll have the 7th inning. Aaron Sanchez will leave after 92 pitches and 6 brilliant innings in his Astros debut. George goes down swinging. Back-to-back strikeouts for Whistler in the 6th inning. Jose Altuve, a couple of extra base hits tonight, 2 for 3 with that home run to make it a 4-0 lead.
Whistler feeling good about that slider. Just struck out George Springer on it. Starting off Altuve with it.
Hit hard off the glove of the second baseman Nola. He still doesn't see it. Now he locates the baseball. That's a 3-hit night for Altuve. First and second, 2 away.
It's been a considerable adjustment by Jose Altuve to go the other way in this ball game. Another baseball hit hard to the opposite side of the field, ate up Nola. It's a hopeless feeling when you don't know where the baseball is. Most important thing on the field.
So Altuve, a 3 for 4 night. Now at 3:08, here's Michael Brantley. Up, they're going to change that to an error.
I was afraid of that.
It was hit hard enough. I thought it would be a base hit. But they're going to give Austin Nola an error.
I wonder if it had anything to do with Maldonado being at, no offense to Martin Maldonado, but being at first base. If you just keep that ball in front, it's an easy flip to second base and get that force out. It would have been a tougher play to go across, back across to get Jose Altuve. He did hit it hard, though.
That's a short hop on a line drive. I just assumed they would call that one a hit. Tough error on Nola. Brantley drove in the game's first run with a double in the left field. Astros with 9 hits.
Whistler is heavy on that slider to right-handed hitters. He throws it almost 73% of the time. To left-handed hitters, 66.5% of the time.
Another slider.
There's now 16 sliders out of the 20 pitches from Whistler in this inning.
Wow. Really?
Yeah, that's incredible.
Brantley the other way, deep to left field, Court all the way back, and that's off the wall. Maldonado scores. Altuve flying around, he's gonna score. 2 RBI double by Michael Brantley. Astros lead 6-0.
Couple of base hits, and then the big one off the bat of Michael Brantley, getting that up and away slider coming back to him. He stays on it, drives it the other way, using that manual scoreboard out there as his friend to drive in 2. Court has been having some issues with that left field wall.
43rd multi-hit game for Michael Brantley, who now has 131 hits on the season. Here's Alex Bregman, who lined a base hit down the third baseline his last time up. Astros now with 10 hits. Two doubles tonight for Brantley give him 31. That's the team lead. Yuli Gurriel has 27 of them. Bregman had 51 doubles last year. Led the major leagues in that category, but this year a tough time finishing the top 2 on his own team. He's currently at 17 doubles. Ball popped up on the infield. All the infielders converge. It's the third baseman Seager who makes the call on the catch. Astros add to their lead. It is 6-0. Is presented by EB. Aaron Sanchez in his Astros debut was unbelievable tonight. Only 3 base runners allowed, a couple of walks, a hit batter. Plummer from the start, he was impressive.
Yeah, he was heavy in the strike zone with all 3 pitches that we saw from him, the fastball, curveball, and the changeup, setting the bar extremely high for another guy who's going to make his debut on Tuesday.
That's right. Now, what is it? AJ said in his press conference, there's no magic dust here in Houston. But when you look at what's happened with some of these guys through the years, it's been pretty impressive.
Yeah, they have definitely come to Houston and become maybe different ball players, made the adjustments, whether it's analytics or how they deliver the baseball to home plate. But the numbers are drastically different for a lot of these guys. You've kind of a unique set of guys, too. Not necessarily all the same type of pitcher. A couple of them older, some are younger, some are in between. But these guys, when they get to Houston, have obviously made the adjustment and used it. not just use, maximize the amount of information they get.
Daniel Vogelbach, the batter, has flied out and walked. Sanchez goes 6 innings tonight for the first time since June the 8th when he went 6 innings against Arizona. And it's the first start he has left without allowing a run since his first start of the year when he went 5 innings against the Tigers and allowed 3 hits and 3 walks back on March the 30th. Vogelbach takes a called strike. Sanchez threw 92 pitches tonight, 48 fastballs, 27 curveballs, including 13 in the last 2 innings. Started out with a lot of curveballs, finished with a lot of curveballs, and 17 changeups in the mix.
All great. He didn't miss the zone by a lot. He was putting him where he wanted to. Some of the numbers on Will Harris. He's had a nice rest out of that bullpen, seeing some of these starters go deep into ball games. Last time he pitched was on the 30th.
Three and 2 on Vogelbach, who walked his last time up. His team leading 67th walk of the season. And he taps one slowly to the right side. Correa makes the play. Carlos in the shift on the second base side of the bag. Really giving him a hard time because that throw wasn't chest high.
Maybe telling Carlos, be better. Not enough just to get the out. You got to throw it in that perfect window.
These guys love having fun out there. Little tap or foul. Santana struck out twice tonight against Aaron Sanchez. In fact, Sanchez picked up 4 of his 6 strikeouts with the next 2 hitters in the lineup, Domingo Santana and J.P. Crawford. The edge, 2-1. Ball 4. Santana draws a walk. Third walk issued by Astros pitching tonight. He's a 1-out base runner.
Time now to name that Astro, presented by Nissan. Kids want this for Christmas. People get shot out of this. Team wants to do this. If you know who that Astro is, you know you need to go to @AT&T Sportsnet SW. Tell us who you think it is and stay tuned so we can tell you who that Astro is.
Mary Carroll got it.
I'm glad she's here.
Here's J.P. Crawford. Ground ball right side. Altuve. Correa for 1. The return in time for the double play. Correa and Yuli still talking about the throws to first. Will Harris gets the double play ground ball.
Got to have some good defense, and we've been seeing it all year long. Great feed from Altuve. So-so throw over to first base completes that double play.
We're back here at Maid Park, Astros baseball for you. Also, Astros Hall of Fame weekend. The induction ceremony happening before the game. I'm with another Astros Hall of Famer, Jose Cruz, who spent so many years here with the Astros and so many great memories for you. Were they flooding back today as you put on your orange sport coat?
Oh, yes, Julia. It's an honor for me to receive this honor tonight. I'm being especially that I don't see those guys for a long time, my teammates, and then the other guys when I was coaching. So they're making me proud, and I'm happy to be there in the Hall of Fame.
It was incredible, the amount of talent, and then the broadcasters, just to bring you all together and see everyone. That had to feel good.
Oh, yeah, it feels good to see, guys that we don't see in a long time. You know, I see Backy, I see Shane Reynolds, but I don't see JR. I don't see him in Teddy Puri. I thought Teddy Puri was going to be here tonight, but he's not here. But all the team, they really enjoy watching those guys.
It's important, do you think, for fans to see what people have done in this organization in years past? So many great players, even before you.
That's why, you know what, I'll tell you one thing. I'm proud. I come out here in 1975. I still see a lot of guys. But I've been here all those playoffs and watching the team now, the way they play, the young guys, is super. And I'm very happy to be part of the Houston Astros.
How good is this team this year?
I think we are a lot better. Now we got grandkids, and then we are ready to be all the way.
All the way.
Championship, yes. World Series.
Love it. Thank you for the time. Congrats again.
Thank you, Julia. Thank you.
Love that he calls her Julia. That's our nickname for Julia Morales.
There you go. Cheo, he can't do anything wrong.
No.
He is the best.
Great family. He had a lot of his family members out there on the field for the ceremony. Bottom of the 7th inning, Yordan Alvarez leads off. It drives one down the right field line, hooking and foul, home run distance. But Yordan knew he pulled it a little bit, never left the batter's box.
He got jammed too. That pitch got in on him a little bit. Still has enough to muscle it. Home run distance, but you're right, TK, hooking a little bit past that foul pole.
Gerson Batista, the new pitcher. Throws hard, as you can see.
Yeah, 99 in the gun right there. He averages 97.5 miles an hour. Only other pitch he has is a slider, but they've been getting to that heat. 7 innings pitched in the big leagues, a 10.29 ERA.
Yordan pops this one high in the air, near the rafters and through the rafters, and Malik Smith stays with it and makes the play for the first out. That one was up high enough to hit the roof. It just missed it.
Just missed hitting that slider a long way. A little too elevated.
2 for 4 night for the big man. Now bring up Carlos Correa. Will Harris, with the help of a double play to end the 7th inning, worked around a walk, and now looks like Joe Biagini will make his Astros debut on a night when his teammate in Toronto, Aaron Sanchez, went the first 6. Carlos wanted to hold up on that pitch, but did not. Missed the slider. It's 0-1. There is the former Blue Jay, about to appear in his first game in an Astros uniform. One of the more humorous introductions to a team in his press conference.
Yeah, he brought some of his best material, didn't he?
First question asked to him was what it feels like to be here with the Houston Astros, and he said they promised me therapy puppies.
Not dogs, puppies.
This ball is sent into right center field, well struck by Correa. That is going to one hop against the fence. Carlos Correa heads into second base with a 1-out double. He continues to hit the baseball hard since returning from the injured list.
Yeah, these guys have been letting that baseball travel and have been getting the barrel to some of these Mariner pitches with frequency. 99 miles an hour coming in. Shot out at 106.2.
Now to bring up Yuli. Yuli, who was named Player of the Month in July, 0 for 3 tonight. Had his hitting streak snapped on August the 1st back in Cleveland. So he's looking for his first hit in the month of August. He is 0 for 7 with the off day yesterday. That one gets away. Correa will advance to third. Batista with a wild pitch. The Astros put a runner 90 feet from home plate.
Opportunity for Yuli to pick up another RBI with that runner moving to third, less than 2 outs with that ball skipping away from Narvaez.
Infield in with a 2-0 count. Yuli loves this scenario. Takes one outside. Not only does Carlos Correa have 2 hits tonight over 100 miles an hour, so all 8 of his hits since coming off the IL are over 100, but all 3 of his at-bats tonight, he's hit the 3 hardest baseballs in the game, including his line out, his first time up, which was the hardest hit baseball of the night. 109, 106.4, and 106.2.
It's impressive. He's getting mad at the baseball. He's hitting 6th.
I know it. This guy won Player of the Month and moved down in the lineup.
Yeah.
AJ said, we have seen enough. That ball's into right field. That should score a run, if not more. That's down for a hit. Yuli's thinking about 2. The throw to second is not in time. RBI double by Yuli Gurriel. Astros had a run at 7-0.
Couple of doubles in this game. One hit extremely hard. The other one dumped in the right position to allow Yuli to get into second base. Both count the same. And another run on the board for the Houston Astros. Alex Smith kind of cheating towards that opposite field gap. Didn't have a chance to get there. And Yuli testing that arm makes it in.
So Yuli picks up his first hit in August and his first run batted in. 69 RBIs for Yuli, team leading. '20 Astros season tickets on sale now. Enjoy great seats and exclusive benefits throughout the season at Minute Maid Park. Buy your tickets today to secure 2019 postseason tickets. For tickets and info, visit astros.com/season tickets or call 1-877-9-ASTROS today. Here's Martin Maldonado, has been on base a couple of times with a single and a walk. Also scored a run. There's a called strike. Since the Astros left St. Louis, and they've been able to use this lineup with Correa healthy and Alvarez back in the DH spot, pushing Yuli down to the number 7 spot. It just feels like it is a juggernaut right now. The pitchers are going to have a real tough time getting 2 or 3 times through this lineup with any success. It is unrelenting, and there's power 1 through 9 as we saw last night with 5, 6, 7, 8, and 9 all hitting home runs.
Yeah, I keep going back to the meetings that you have to start series. The hitters will have their hitters meetings, go over the starters in that series, and then go through the bullpen and see what they've got. Maybe watch a little bit of video, talk about some of the tendencies or highlight something on these guys that you maybe can go after and attack. And then pitchers will sit down, and the starting pitcher most notably will sit down and they will get the lineup card out, and they'll start going through the lineup card. At what point do you just go uncle? You know, you're the 6th hitter, Carlos Correa. The player of the month is hitting 7th. You know, you're trying to pick your spots and try and navigate through some damage, and you're trying to pick who doesn't beat you when you have 7 to 9 guys who can beat you in the lineup.
This ball hit high and deep to left field, but playable. Ryan Ford over there in left field makes the play for the second out. Giving the fans something to cheer about here as they have watched 12 hits and 7 runs on the board tonight. Michael Brantley's contributed 2 of those hits and 2 of those runs batted in. Now Josh Reddick will bat for the 4th time. He is 1 for 3 with an opposite field looping hit. Another good crowd tonight, 37,059 on hand for the first ever Hall of Fame induction ceremony. I was wondering, because George was over there talking with Uncle Mike kind of casually, why George wasn't about to grab his helmet and his bat, because he's due up next. George's night apparently is over as Jake Marisnick's in the on-deck circle, and George can hang out with his buddy Uncle Mike.
Maybe getting a little therapy. It's a rough night for George. We don't see that too often with him, as well as he has been hitting the baseball of late.
You know, George can be mercurial. He can go one night where he looks like you can't get him out, and he can go the next night like tonight where he struggled a little bit. Now tomorrow he can come out and hit 2 bombs and go 3 for 4.
And go on a 5-game tear.
Right.
And just carry the ball club.
This ball popped high in the air, shallow left field. Shortstop Crawford out. Puts it away. Astros add to their lead, 7-0 through 7.
Rankings are driven by GMs. Astros have been playing very good defense all the way around. This back in Cleveland, a great relay to home plate. Strong throw from Correa. Great tag by Maldonado. And how about 28 outfield defensive runs saved? It has gone up 3 points in the last, or 3 runs, I should say, in the last 4 games. Josh Reddick with a big assist, gunning down Yasiel Puig at home plate. Yuli elevating here. George made a great play in left center. These guys flat out know how to go out and get that baseball and help their pitching out. And here's the debut of Joe Biagini.
Yeah, nothing like throwing Joe right into the mix here. 8th inning, Astros leading 7-0. Biagini's numbers with Toronto. He has been outstanding this year against right-hand hitters, facing Austin Nola, a righty. Bottom third of the order for the Mariners has 3 right-handed hitters: Nola, Ryan Court, and Keon Broxton.
Biagini quickly throwing a strike with that slider. He also has a curveball changeup, and the fastball averages 94 miles an hour.
Biagini and Aaron Sanchez coming over from the Toronto Blue Jays. Derek Fisher, who played last night for Toronto in the outfield, moving from the Astros to Toronto. Astros and Toronto have made a lot of trades through the years at the trade deadline. 1-2 the count. Much even fastball slider mix facing right-hand hitters. 2-2 pitch, a little check swing on the slider. Jose Altuve is there. Joe Biagini in his introductory press conference was asked about coming over to the Astros and also how he got to Houston.
Well, I was promised therapy puppies. I haven't found them yet. The process of getting here was a car to a plane to another car, airport snacks, and I'm also, since you guys are taking so many pictures of us, I'm going to take a picture of you guys really quick.
Joe Biagini, a unique personality.
Yeah, you got to be on your toes around him.
Follow up to that little selfie he took. I guess it's not a selfie if you're not in it, is it? Just a picture.
Yeah, I think somehow the self has to be in the selfie.
Right. But the picture he took with his camera, his phone, is he came up to Julia afterwards because Julia was ready for it, of course. Yep. In case something's posted, Julia gave like a little peace sign, and he's like, "You were the best of all the media members. You were ready for that picture."
I had a good first impression with Joe, we'll put it that way. Yes, I'm always ready for pictures, Joe.
That's outstanding.
2-0 the count. I assume that's the first time you met him when he came up and congratulated you on the picture?
Yeah, that was the first time I talked to him. Hope to talk to him tonight, though. I can't wait for any kind of interview with Biagini.
3-0 the count to Ryan Court. Court has grounded out on a nice play by Carlos Correa and also grounded out to first. There's a strike. There was Joe telling Julie afterwards, nice work. Ryan Court started his season with the Sugarland Skeeters, playing for Pete Incaviglia.
How about that?
Yeah, signed in May. And made his way up to the big leagues. Had his contract purchase on May the 7th. Now his second start with the Seattle Mariners. As Biagini has come back from a 3-0 count, it's now 3-2. 31 years old when he made his big league debut.
Perseverance and then some.
Pretty live arm. You see the 94 with the fastball.
He's another guy that they use that term high spin on some of his sliders and curveballs. Doesn't use that curveball all that much, but we've seen some good sliders in this inning from Joe.
Just missed the bottom of the zone for a walk. This is a fourth walk allowed by Astros pitching. They've also hit a batter. Sanchez walked 2, Harris 1, and now Biagini 1.
Time now to reveal who that Astro is, presented by Nissan. Kids want this for Christmas. People get shot out of this, and teams want to do this. It is, of course, the Toy Cannon, Jimmy Wynn. 291 career home runs, 223 of those with Houston. Playing career went from 1963 to 1977. Astro Hall of Fame inductee.
Last one introduced, they went alphabetically. They went from Aspromani to Wynn. Jimmy got a huge ovation. Not sure if anybody got a bigger ovation than the Express tonight, but love shown for all 16 inductees. Keon Broxton fouls the pitch back from Biagini. Broxton has flied out to center and struck out looking. Did you happen to walk through past the family area last night when you go out to your car after the game, or did you go a different route?
No, I went that way.
So the crazy part about Biagini being an Astro for the first time last night is there actually were puppies down in the hallway.
Oh, yeah, I saw those.
Can you believe that? I'm not sure they were there for Joe, but it worked out.
It's good to know if they are for Joe, the Astros delivered.
1-2 the count. Watch every out-of-market regular season game live or on demand with MLB.tv. Your subscription includes MLB at Bat Premium, allowing you to stream live baseball on your favorite supported devices. Blackouts and other restrictions apply. Visit MLB.tv for details. Called third strike. Freezes Broxton at 94 miles an hour, 2 away in the 8th.
Caught Keon Broxton maybe looking for that breaking ball, and it didn't break. Just painted that outside corner for that called third strike. Broxton got busted looking at a curveball the previous AB. There it was the fastball that locked him up.
Now Malik Smith bats. Malik's walked his last time up. Breaking ball down and in, 1-0. There's a strike. That's the top of the zone. Fans don't like the call. 2-1 to count.
That's that curveball we've been talking about. He has some of the highest spin rate in the league with that curveball. Not enough to get it back in the zone, just above.
Three and one. Chris Davinsky warming up. Astros pitchers have thrown 125 pitches tonight, 92 by Sanchez, 12 by Will Harris, and now 21 in this inning from Biagini. Ground ball, Yuli's there. He'll take it himself. We are through 8. 7-0 Astros.
Is brought to you by TMG. It's Jose Altuve who extended his hitting streak to 7 games tonight. Look at his last 13. He's only hitting .480, but tonight the double in his first at bat, and then you see the home run there. That makes home runs in his second straight game tonight. That line drive to right field. He's actually the first Astro to homer off the starter for Seattle, Marco Gonzalez. So pretty good feat there. That average for Jose Altuve just keeps going up. It's been a lot of fun to watch, guys.
Really has. He's challenging Michael Brantley now. 318 to 305 for the best average on the team. Almost had another base hit his last time up, but a ball Nola couldn't handle, ruled an error, and he ends up 2 for 4, but will bat second in this inning as Jake Marisnick will lead things off. Jake taking over in center field last inning for George Springer. Faces the hard-throwing right-hander Gerson Batista in his second inning of work. The Mariners will have 3 left-hand hitters due up in the next inning: Kyle Seager, Omar Narvaez, and Daniel Vogelbach. AJ likes Will Harris and Chris Davinsky against left-hand hitters, and right now he's got Devo warming up to pitch the 9th. There's Jake into left field. That's going to drop in for a hit. Jake Marisnick in his 1 at bat tonight with a single to left. Time to reveal the results of our Chevy Stroh poll. We asked you, with the inaugural class this year going in, who was the most likely to get voted in next year? Big Puma gets 55%. Billy Wagner gets a quarter of the vote. Cesar Cedeno, a lot of love as well. We'll see what happens next season when they have the first class other than the inaugural class, the first class to be voted on by a panel, which includes Bill Brown, who was the master of ceremonies tonight on the field, did a great job. Reed Ryan, part of that panel. Brian McTaggart on that panel. Astros historian Mike Acosta on that panel. There are a lot of great names still to be inducted into this Astros Hall of Fame.
So many. It'll be a lot of fun to watch for years to come who gets inducted.
Altuve takes a strike, down to the count 0-2. In addition to those 4 choices, Roy Oswalt, certainly a lead candidate. At some point when this guy's done playing, we'll probably see an orange jacket on him.
Yeah, I wonder if they already fitted some of these guys on this team for jackets.
Julia.
I actually asked Altuve what today meant as far as the Hall of Fame induction. This is a guy who's been around a long time and has seen these guys walk through the clubhouse. He's read about them. He's heard about them. He's developed relationships with a lot of them, and he told me that today. He said, I do feel like I'm the oldest Astro in this room for sure. Not by age, but just by the fact that I've been around, and this is a really special day. It's a special day for my teammates, too, to learn a little bit about the history of the team that they were playing for. And then I wanted to follow up with, do you dream of being in the Hall of Fame, in the Astros Hall of Fame one day? You're certainly trending in that direction. And he said, I can't think about that right now. I just have to focus on getting my hits and helping my team and winning at the end of the day. And if it happens, it happens. We'll probably see him in it.
And he'll thank everybody but himself. He'll say it wasn't me, it was all my teammates.
Yep.
Altuve hanging in there with a count of 1-2. Astros leading 7-0 tonight after defeating the Mariners 10-2 last night. Completely different scenario than most of the games this year between Seattle and Houston. Even though the Astros have dominated the season series, they've all been competitive games before this weekend, Hall of Fame weekend series. Altuve goes down swinging. Batista picks up his first strikeout, one away in the 8th.
Are you following AT&T Sportsnet on social media? From in-game highlights to exclusive player interviews, find us on Facebook, Twitter, and our new Instagram account for the latest on the Astros all season long.
Michael Brantley, a 2-for-4 night, a couple of doubles, up to 31 doubles and 131 hits. He's been hitting the ball hard the other way lately, even his outs in Cleveland were line drive outs to left field. Making sure that bat's not cracked. Seven runs on 13 hits for the Astros. Last night they had 10 runs on a dozen hits. Batista balks Jake Marisnick into second base.
Kind of wondering what happened. I'm not sure if I caught it from that.
Crazy part about that balk is the runner wasn't being held and the runner wasn't going anywhere.
Yeah, I'm not sure. I didn't see any hesitation. You know, sometimes the pitcher will get the sign, start to come set, and for whatever reason just hesitate a little bit. But I didn't catch much on that.
Scott's service has not been happy since the first inning. Felt like Jose Altuve struck out on a pitch that was called a check swing. Altuve thought he struck out on a pitch that was called a check swing.
That is correct.
Brantley with those 2 opposite field hits tonight, second in the major leagues in opposite field hits. Leury Garcia has 1 more for the Chicago White Sox. He has 45 of his 131 into left field. Ground ball right side. That's a base hit past Vogelback into right. Around third comes Jake. He'll score. Michael Brantley, another RBI base hit, his 3rd of the night. Astros lead 8-0.
Well, we can call Uncle Mike maybe greedy. 2 hits, 3 RBIs already in this ball game, and he decides to get 1 more with that base hit to right field, smashing it past Vogelbach at first base. Not much of an effort from Vogelbach, and Jake Marisnick's speed scores easy.
Uncle Mike now with 67 runs batted in. Climbing up that list. Yuli got an RBI tonight. He has 69 of them. Brantley 67, Bregman 66. Alex was the leader for the most part all year long in RBIs until Yuli's player of the month. One and 1 to count to Bregman. Astros scoring a run in every inning in the last 4. 1 in the 5th, 2 in the 6th, 1 more in the 7th and in the 8th. That ball driven to left center field, all the way back. Broxton, that's off the wall. Brantley around third. He's going to be waved home. He'll score easily. Bregman gets to third base. RBI triple. It's 9-0.
.98, literally right down the middle, and Alex did not miss that one. Line drive to left center field, hits high up off that chain link fence, shoots over the head of Keon Broxton. As soon as it gets over his head, Alex Bregman's going to take a peek at it and realize he has a chance to get into third, and does. This Astros team is incredible. And I know it's early, there's going to be maybe some lulls, but the matchup of this offensive lineup against the pitching that we're going to see here in recent days maybe anticipates a lot of these situations. But it's just amazing. It's one thing to say that on paper that they can actually go out and do something like this. You still have to go do it, and they're doing it with authority. They're really leaving no doubt.
Win tonight would give them 13 out of 16. And in 2 of those 3 losses in that 16-game stretch, they had the lead in the 8th in one game and the 9th in the other. The only game they were really behind for the majority of the game was that three-run home run game in Cleveland.
Yep.
That they lost 10-4. The bullpen, which had been locked down in the first half of the season, had been locked down during this stretch. They could be 15-1 if they win tonight. 9-0 in the bottom of the 8th.
Going out on that tree trunk right there, aren't you, TK?
Jordan with a 2-for-4 night. Chance for an RBI here if he drives one to the outfield. Misses that change up. It's 2-2.
If Jordan drives in this run right here, would that change your mind?
Yep. 10-run cushion.
Might increase their chances. Their win probability.
Yes. Win probability is extremely high.
You know, the 4 games coming into this season, into this series with that fully bolstered, healthy lineup, they've averaged 5.8 runs per game. This game piling onto that, they're going to get up over 6 easy.
Good to see George being able to just relax, sit next to his buddy Michael Brantley, who had a 3-hit, 4 RBI night. Josh Reddick in the mix too. It's kind of the mirror of how they line things up in the outfield normally.
They just can't help but sit in that position, huh?
Jordan will see another pitch here. Batista does have a high velocity fastball at 97. Jordan's taking some healthy cuts at him. 97, 98. We've even seen him get to 99.
Yeah, the way the Astros have hit the fastball and a couple of hanging sliders off Batista kind of gives you the impression that it's easy to see or maybe straight.
Went to the breaking ball, got him with the slider. Jordan with a 2-for-5 night. He's out number 2. Don't forget, after this game, it'll be the Astros postgame show presented by Whataburger. Kevin Eschenfelder and Mike Stanton will be the hosts tonight. A special 1-hour pregame show, and now the postgame show could be very special as well, with Aaron Sanchez absolutely phenomenal in his Astros debut. The offense continuing to roll, 15 hits and 9 runs, still batting here in the 8th. And we'll recap an incredible Hall of Fame night. Correa has hit the ball harder tonight than anybody else. 3 different line drive base hits, 2 line drive base hits, and a line out to center field his first time up. Takes a strike from Batista. It's 0-2. Devo has had plenty of time to get ready. He's just been standing around, now throwing a couple more pitches just to stay loose. But that Devo strut will start to head its way to the mound here as Correa grounds one to Nola. We are going to head to the 9th. Astros scoring 2 more. It is 9-0. Houston Astros on AT&T Sportsnet is presented by Toyota. Let's go places. A night with legends in the house. Hall of Fame induction night at Minute Maid Park. The Astros trying to cap off this evening with a big finish from Chris Davinsky on Hall of Fame weekend. Devo taking over here in the 9th, facing 3 left-hand hitters to start the inning.
It's good for him. He's got that COD in his back pocket. Record on the season is 2-0. That ERA drifting down now at 4.31. He has been very good of late. Seen some good sliders. The velocity's been good in 94, 95 mile an hour range, but it's really been that changeup making a resurgence here in the last couple of outings.
The one Mariner who has faced Chris Davinsky more than any other by far is the leadoff hitter in this inning, Kyle Seager. 14 at bats against Devo. He's 3 for 14. Swings at the changeup and misses. 0-1. Seager has grounded out twice and flied out to left field. Nobody else has more than 5 at bats on this Mariners roster. Ground ball. Yuli on 2 hops. Will flip it to Devo. That's 1 in the 9th. Aaron Sanchez in his first start as an Astro. 6 innings. Hit a batter, walked a couple. Well, Harris had the 7th. He walked 1. Joe Biagini had the 8th. He walked the batter. Devo facing the number 3 hitter Omar Narvaez. He was hit by a pitch, and then he's also flied out and grounded out.
He's a good heater, top of the zone, 95. Devo feeling it. Pitched back-to-back days a couple days ago. Had the day off yesterday.
He got him. Foul tip, caught by Maldonado. Narvaez down on strikes, 2 away in the 9th.
The COD, who's pumping fastballs up in the zone against Narvaez, got it chasing up top, and then snapped the changeup down to get the swing and miss.
37,000 plus, all standing. Daniel Vogelback, the batter. Strike one. He was pumped.
Ball jumped out of his hand.
97. Not sure we've seen Devo throwing that hard all year. Doesn't change the changeup. And chase it, 3-2.
He overcooked the fastball, 97 up out of the zone. Maybe overcooked that changeup right there. Still has options, and that changeup's looked good in this inning.
Fly ball, center field. Josh Reddick calls off Jake Marisnick. The Astros have done it. On a night with the greatest legends in Houston Astros baseball inducted into the Hall of Fame, they create history of their own. The 2019 magic continues. A 4-pitcher combined no-hitter. The 12th no-hitter in Astros history. The 2nd at Minute Maid Park. Mike Fiers when he joined the team in 2015, and tonight there was another new addition, Aaron Sanchez, with 6 of those no-hit innings.
Can't make this stuff up. A night where they recognize how this organization was built. 16 Hall of Fame inductees and a couple of new guys on the ball club contributing to a combined no-hitter for the Houston Astros. Joe Biagini gets a clean inning. Aaron Sanchez, 6 no-hit innings. And the Astros accomplish it on a magical weekend with a magical team.
Greg Maddux, late in his career, sent to the Dodgers. pulled after 6 innings of no-hit baseball due to a rain delay after being acquired by the Dodgers. That's the last time somebody in his debut did not allow a hit after a midseason trade to throw 6+ innings. Aaron Sanchez, who has struggled the whole year, hadn't won a game since April, and is part of a no-hit night tonight.
How about it adding to the legend of Brent Strom?
Well, Julia Morales is gathering all 4 the components for that no-hitter. She's got 3 of them out there. The last time the Astros with a combined no-hitter came against the New York Yankees in the Bronx. It was Roy Oswalt starting things off. Off to Pete Monroe, Kirk Sarlos, Brad Lidge, Octavio Dotel, and Billy Wagner completing the no-hitter. Tonight, it's Aaron Sanchez, newly acquired, Will Harris, Joe Biagini, newly acquired, and the strut save for Chris Davinsky. He didn't even have a chance to strut because he was mobbed by his teammates. What a night, Blummer.
Yeah, it was incredible. I was there for that last combined no-hitter for the Houston Astros in Yankee Stadium. It was a magical night. We had no idea that it was even going down, but I guarantee you these guys knew exactly what was going on. Aaron Sanchez going 6. Then it was to Will Harris. These guys are highly competitive against left-handed hitters, and every one of them was on point. And how about this Astros defense? We talked about the defensive runs they saved. They helped him out with the double play, and then it was Biagini, another new guy. I think they'll go out and get him some puppies now after that clean no-hit inning. We saw some of his stuff. We also saw a lot of composure. It's not easy to know this game is going on the way it is and come out of that bullpen and pitch as well as they did. And then all of a sudden, that luggage is going to be a little bit more full for Devo because he did a good job getting that ground ball. The changeup was nice. We saw him get juiced a little bit. Fastball at 97, a changeup at 86, 87, and that was it. History.
Jeff Luhnow. Everybody talked about the Zach Greinke trade, but how about the 2 Blue Jays he acquired, combining for 7 of the 9 no-hit innings? Julia Morales, after all the pictures have been taken, is ready down on the field. Go ahead, Julia.
They needed to take a few pictures for sure. What a historic moment for you guys. Not just you, Aaron, but the guys behind you as well. How do you describe what you and your teammates did tonight?
I mean, what a fun night. For me, you know, they're just coming here and try to have a good first impression. The offense gave me an early lead to kind of let me go out there and just go pitch, and these guys came in behind me, and I mean, this is awesome. What a better. I mean, you can't write it up any better than this.
You had talked about how excited you were to join this club. Were you channeling that energy as you took the mound tonight?
Yeah, I mean, like I said, I was just trying to throw strikes and get ahead of hitters, and for me, you know, you come into a team who's in first place, who's leading the American League in wins, and you just try to want to contribute the best way possible. So for me to go out there and, like I said, offense gave me a good early cushion to where I can just go out there and kind of do my thing. You know, Maldi behind the dish was in sync with me all night, and it's just been an unbelievable last few days for me. It's been cool. It's been really cool. 6
no-hit innings. What was working with you and Maldi tonight?
Everything, really. We established kind of everything from the get-go. Curveball can't, you know, they kind of had to respect everything from pitch 1. You know, everything, really.
What was your first, I know you were trying to make a good first impression on these Houston Astros, but what was your first impression of your new home here at Minute Maid Park tonight?
Well, you know, I've always came in from the other side, and like I said in my press conference, you know, you want to be on this team. They're good 1 through 9. Now they're good 1 through 25. Just to be able to be around the guys that I'm around, I can't wait.
Congratulations.
Thank you.
All right. TK, I'm going to send it up to you real quick.
All right, Julia, let's recap what happened tonight. Daniel Vogelbach, the last batter. Josh Reddick making the catch. The celebration was on. 3 pitchers out of the bullpen, 4-pitcher combined no-hitter, the 3rd no-hitter of the season in Major League Baseball. The former Astro Mike Byers, who has the only other no-hitter here at Minute Maid Park, got his 2nd this year. This time with the Oakland A's. The incredible night with the Angels and Tyler Skaggs, everybody wearing the Tyler Skaggs jersey, combining on that no-hitter. And now tonight, those 4 pitchers combining for history. We will have more from Minute Maid Park after this incredible night.